Give us a minute. Hello and welcome in to everybody tuning in on that YouTube live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. We are going to go ahead and hop straight into the debates. Now, we did have a Trump supporter loaded into the live that was ready to debate, but as I was just giving my intro for the YouTube live stream that you all just heard, he actually left and quit and ran away. So I unfortunately will not be able to give you that promised debate right off the bat. Let's see if we could get somebody else up in here. What is going on, CJ? Are you MAGA?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
How are you today,
boy.
D?
Oh, boy. I am doing okay. Why do you support the worst president of your life?
Oh, worse. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
you heard me. You heard me. That's what I said.
All right. Well, one point is the immigration, and also Iran are two main points that I support. If we want to start there, I guess a better question would be, why are you against those things? Because I've been watching some of your lives, and I don't really understand why that's such a bad thing and why that makes him a terrible president.
Yeah, for sure. His immigration policy specifically, talking about mass deportation, I think it's an American last policy that only hurts our country.
So how?
Sandy, thank you so much for the hangouts. I appreciate that.
Sorry. So how does that make Trump a bad president?
Because
I
he's
mean,
implementing
did
American
Obama
last
and
policy that only hurts
Clinton
our country.
not deport more immigrants during their term compared to what Trump did?
So, no, not necessarily. Donald Trump's on track to deport more. Now, about Obama, it is the case that I disagree with any deportation under his administration of any undocumented immigrant unless they had prior violent offenses. Now, Obama was focused on individuals with those prior violent offenses. In fact, he even made work programs for undocumented immigrants without those prior violent offenses. But I'm no hypocrite. I will condemn the deportation of any undocumented immigrant without prior violent offenses, regardless of who the president is.
Right.
But this does not change my claim. Donald Trump wants to deport every undocumented immigrant in this country. That is an American last policy that will only hurt this country, and that's why I think that he's a bad president.
Okay, so then because you just said that, Obama, whatever, so that's that. But if Trump went about the process differently, similar to the Obama administration, would that give you a different outlook or respect on him? Or does it come down to the fact that he's a Republican?
Sure, if he went about his deportations identical to how Obama did, it wouldn't be as bad. Would I still support it? No. Just like I don't support Obama's deportations for the reasons I already gave you. But now let's not do the ifs ands. I answered the question because I'm a good faith debater. But at the end of the day, what he is doing is a mass deportation of every single undocumented immigrant in this country. And I told you that I don't like that policy because it places America last, as it only hurts this country.
Did you just vape?
I don't do that.
Why were you covering your mouth?
I was hitting my anxiety pin. Now, lavender and caramel, if you're curious. But do you want to respond to the position, CJ? How about this? I'll ask you a question. My claim was that it only hurts this country. That's why it's an American last policy. That's what makes him a bad president. And it looks like we're freezing up, and we're back. So, would you mind quantifying a very specific? I know.
Can you repeat it?
Would you mind quantifying a very specific way that mass deportation helps America? I want you to be incredibly specific.
No more criminals.
No more criminals. Well, actually, mass deportation causes more crime by weakening the economy, which increases poverty, which increases crime. So there will be more criminals.
Is there any evidence of that actually happening in history, like an actual source?
We could use like the most standard deductive line of reasoning ever, okay? So undocumented immigrants contribute 1.1 trillion through $1 trillion to the GDP per year.
No, so you're right. I can agree on, not to cut you off. Like that
okay,
I do agree on.
Then I just need my deductive reasoning. That's all I need.
So that's value, but that doesn't mean just because you have 100 apples, there's not going to be a couple of bad ones in that bunch. So how do we decipher between who's good and bad? I mean, I don't feel like there's a good way to do that. What, just let everybody in and just hope for the best? Or we actually have a process that legally allows people to come into the country, which people are doing so right now. And you have people that are breaking the law, cutting in front of those people that are waiting years to get into the country legally. So that's my problem. It's not against, I have a few people that, have told me, immigrants, they're hard workers and, they do good stuff. But just like any other race or any other country, there's good and there's bad everywhere.
Okay, so see how you're already shifting away from the original position? This is why I say that Trump supporters can't handle nuance. I tell you that I don't like mass deportation because it only serves to hurt this country. I ask you to name a way that that it helps this country, and you say it gets rid of criminals. I give you a very standard and easy to follow argument to demonstrate that it actually increased the amount of crime in this country. And then the moment I give you that argument to demonstrate that you haven't been able to identify a way in which mass deportation positively affects America, you just revert back to the basis, like one IQ claim that, oh, we need to deport them because they came in here illegally and cut the line. Okay, well, I will happily engage with that very standard run-of-the-mill Fox News propaganda talking point that includes no nuance after you can
Engage like
refute
we
my
did in
argument why
Iran.
I don't like it by pointing out a positive impact of mass deportation on America. And buddy, I mean, I feel like you kind of put yourself in this position because
You're
you're
my
the
buddy.
one that you're the one that asked me why I didn't like mass deportation, and I told you. So the burden would be on you to refute my position. You can particularly refute my position by identifying a single positive
like to
outcome
refute
of
position.
mass deportation on America. What is it?
Dean, I think you just hit a dab card or something, man. You're acting a little funny.
Okay, that's cute. Now please respond to my question.
Yeah, Dean, I'm just trolling, dude.
And he left. He said, goodbye, everybody. He said, I can't defend the view, so I am going to leave. That is very typical of Trump supporters as it relates to mass deportation. If you watch my streams frequently, you'll know we actually went over this yesterday. About how do we have productive conversation with Trump supporters about mass deportation when they're so unwilling to hang around and hear me out. What is going on, Noemi? Do you support Trump? And they are not here, so we're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone give us a minute to get that very next guest up in the box. Here we go. Yo! While we're loading that next guest, and Eliza, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. I'm not going to read that message out loud, but Eliza, thank you so much, guys. Can we please show some love to Eliza down below in that comment section? While we are loading up that next Trump supporter into the live, let's get at least 100 Eliza W's. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Drop the vape.
I don't do that. I don't know why you
Drop
guys are
the
tripping
vape.
so hard. It's a
Drop.
goddamn anxiety pin, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these creatures, everybody. Who knows? Moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Let's see here. Jeffrey, thank you so much for the $15 donation over on PayPal. Scene keeps slaying. I appreciate you for that love, Jeffrey. As well as Taryn with a $5. Appreciate it. What's going on, Air? Do you support Trump? Air?
Yes, MAGA for life.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 38.
All right, I'm going to let you take it away and convince us that we should support Donald J. Trump. But before you do, Kiara, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, saying we need more common sense people like you in the world. I appreciate that, Kiara. Show some love to Kiara down below in that chat. But take it away, Air. Tell us why you support Trump.
I think first we got to realize what America is. America is a corporation. Also, America, we're living in a world of competition. It's winner be all. You have to win. There's no losing in this. When you lose, then you get taken over by other countries, and then they dictate what goes on in your country. So you can't be a loser. So we got to have somebody that's willing to make hard
Yeah,
decisions.
what the fuck is this guy saying? I'm so sorry. I just want to be very clear.
I'm trying to give you.
Hey,
I'm trying to
hey,
give you the
Air,
reality.
I just want to tell you, every single word that has came out of your mouth since I asked you why you support Donald J. Trump has been total and complete gibberish. I don't know if you could speak any more gibberish than what you just spoke.
I mean, be specific. What part?
I can't identify what part because it was just all nonsense. How could I specifically?
just say anything.
Wait. How can I specifically identify nonsense? Like you were literally just saying words. Like you said that something about a corporation and other countries and winning and losing. Like it's really hard to specifically identify nonsense.
I said America is a corporation.
Okay, well that's not true.
Is it not?
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how you get to that reasoning.
For sure, I'll tell you. Do corporations operate for profit?
Yes.
Okay. Does the American government operate for profit?
Of course, Dodo head.
Where does that profit go?
It goes to the government. Also, it gets trickled down to businesses, other smaller businesses that are made up in the same corporations, also to states, also to other countries.
Okay, so what is that profit?
What do you mean?
Like, what is that profit? Where could we see this profit?
You can see it in expenditure of everything that goes on in the country.
Oh, yeah, no, what we expense is like tax revenue, not that we don't like take a profit on top of that revenue. Like for every like dollar that our government takes in as taxable revenue, they're not like keeping 10 cents and then only spending the other 90 cents. No, like they spend they spend everything that they get. And if they don't spend everything that they get, then they keep it in an account to spend. Like there's no like syndicated profit that's taken off of it.
Well, you're looking at it in a different way, but it's the same thing. It's just we haven't had a surplus in so long. We don't realize it's an actual business.
But that surplus is not extracted from the organization. Because that's what profit is. It's an extracted surplus of revenue, right?
So when they hold it, when you're in a surplus and you're holding it, what is that? What's that money? It's a surplus of what? Profit.
It's not because it's not an extracted surplus.
So what are you calling it? It's extracted. It's money that's been made by the country, and then it's in
nobody's
excess.
Nobody's taking that surplus and putting it in their bank accounts to like live a better life themselves. Like that
You're
surplus is just okay. I'm not muted. Oh my god.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm back now. We are facing so many issues. The lag is over now. By the way, for everybody spamming lag down below in the chat, I have my phone open so I could see the lag too. I don't know what's going on today with the lag, everybody, but we're back now. I think I just really need to go ahead and like upgrade my PC. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on with what I was saying. So yeah, you were saying that America's an organization. It's a company. Well, it's not. It's a country. Okay, but I want to play a little bit of a game. Let's assume that this country is a company. Would you say that if we had a CEO of this company that was making decisions that reduced the amount of revenue that the company was taking in, reduce the size of the company, reduce the growth of the company, that would be a bad CEO that we should fire?
It depends on. I mean, that's a lot of different areas, but it depends on the long-term effects of these cuts and the long-term effects.
I'm just saying, like the total impact is like massive cuts to the company.
Yeah, you know that cuts to the company in some regards is beneficial to the company.
Wait, are you saying that it's beneficial to like completely downsize a company, cut their profit, cut their revenue, completely like cut their growth, cut their potential? Like, no, these are bad things for a company.
Yeah, to completely do it, but to do it in certain areas that are going to eventually lead to the downfall.
What are you even saying? What is this guy? What the fuck are you yapping about? Okay, how about this? Just give us a reason why you support Trump.
Let's look at.
No. We're going back to the basics. Give us a reason why you support Trump.
Like I said, it's more of the archetype that he represents as a businessman and being able to run a country. That is the main thing.
So you're just saying that you think. So you're just saying that you support Trump because you think he's good at running America. Okay, why do you think he's good at running America?
Because he's able to make difficult decisions that people may not agree with in the current terms, but in the long term, it's going to be beneficial.
Okay, so what is one of these good decisions that he's made that you support?
Recently are the tariffs.
Oh, okay. Like what tariffs?
The worldwide tariffs on.
Okay, well we don't have worldwide tariffs anymore. Remember, he paused those. So what specific tariffs do you support?
I support the act of doing that because you got to realize that we're heading into a new system of AI and cryptocurrencies.
What the fuck? Wait. So you support the 55% tariffs that we have on China because of AI and crypto?
Yeah, because the dynamic of the workforce is going to change, which is going to change how we look at our goods and services being taxed by different companies. So basically, when we onshore companies now to America with new AI and robotics, we will be able to produce at a lower cost. The only reason our jobs were going to other countries is because they could get cheaper labor. When you change from AI to robotics, and bring it back onshore, you will be able to have lower cost services and goods, which would put us in a powerful position by making our own products and not relying on other countries. And then when you have the tariffs, we will be able to tariff our goods and services out from America to the other countries that want to buy our products and be in a better position in totality, which bolsters the economy. And then eventually we get through this dumb stage of, oh, I got to go to work 40 hours or 70 hours to work for my life, to a more creative, even in the field that you're on now.
Listen.
Speaking, you're making, I'll imagine that you're making good money, just sitting there, yapping your mouth, not really doing anything, but you're contributing to society by having deliberations about subject matters. And that's the new economy. You're not, are you sweat? Are your brows sweating? No. Are you heavy lifting? No. Are you doing anything that takes any, you know what I'm saying? Like, so this new economy, you have to prepare for that. And that's what's being done.
So let me tell you, I don't do the devil's greenery. Okay. I don't elevate. Okay. I never have. I haven't liked it. But let me tell you, I feel I fill in the blanks as fuck right now because of whatever the hell you just said. Okay? like let me get this straight. So the first thing that you said had something to do with AI and robotics reducing the cost that it would take to produce goods in America, and then you somehow wrapped in tariffs into the equation to like something I don't even know. Like, you completely misrepresented what tariffs are about, and then like you went on to talk about like 40-hour work weeks, and the next thing you know, we're talking about like me and how I'm not like sweating my brows when I'm doing these debates, but I'm still contributing to the economy. Okay, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here because I can only like make very like loose assumptions of what you're arguing here. So I have a question. Why have we seen like jobs offshored overseas?
You said, why is that the case?
Why have we seen companies leave America and operate elsewhere?
First, for a lower cost of production.
Well,
Also,
bam, stop there, because it costs less to produce overseas. So you're telling me that like America's about to experience this AI revolution that's going to make it cost significantly less to produce things in America. Okay,
Right.
well, there's your solution. You don't even need the tariffs. You just need the AI revolution.
no, the tariffs, initially the tariffs is going to be the burden of the taxpayer
Okay.
through the transition.
Now we're wrapping in the burden. Okay, sorry, man. This is incoherent gibberish. I'm going to move on to the next guest. Here we go. I tried to give it a shot in the dark, everybody. But now we're talking about like the burden of the dude. All right, everyone, just give us a minute to get that next guest up in here. Holy shit, we are in for a wild, wild ride today, everybody. These guests are simply something else. Let's see here. Jason and Maddie, thank you both for the $20 donations over on Venmo. Y'all show some love to Jason and Maddie down below. Jason says, I've been listening to your lives while I work out lately. The dumb people you debate make me so mad. It really helps the pump. Yeah, let's go, Jason. That's awesome, man. Then Maddie says, hey, Dean, just wanted to say thank you for the time you take every day to educate people. Remember to take care of yourself and your mental health. I appreciate you for that, Maddie, and I don't forget. As well as Kiara with another $10. Thank you so much for the love. They say here's another 10 just because he said something about you sitting on your ass and making money. Hell yeah, Kiara. What's up, JT? Do you support Trump?
Didn't you look really stressed out? You should hit your anxiety pen.
Okay. Don't worry, buddy. I'll be doing a lot of that today. Now, stop talking about me. Let's talk about Trump, everybody. We're gonna get that next guest up in here. Melanie, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal, and Jesus, thank you so much for the $25. I appreciate you for your kind words, Jesus. Y'all, let's get 250 Jesus W's down below in that chat. And also, Christian, I see you down there. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. What's going on, Smith? Do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay, how do you?
I'm 20.
Cool, I'm gonna let you take it away and tell us why, but before you do, one more dono here from Madison over on Venmo with the $20. Let's get 200 Madison W's. They say, I would need an anxiety pin too if I tried to educate people over the brain power of a damn sponge. That's great, Madison. I appreciate you for that love. Take it away, Smith. Why do you support Trump?
All right, I'll start off with first reason with our whole relationship in NATO. As a country, we're not the key spender. Everyone's spending the same amount of money. That's the first reason.
Okay, well, that's not true.
How's that not true?
Because not everybody spends the same amount of money in NATO.
But we spend significantly less, correct?
We spend significantly less. So what are we spending significantly less on as it relates to NATO because of Trump?
In terms of everyone's defense.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Donald Trump hasn't cut the military budget.
In terms of NATO, he did.
Oh, are you
We
saying that
spend
there's
less.
like a special military budget for NATO's, so there's like a NATO military? What do you mean?
Our whole input into NATO.
Okay, so
I'm not talking about
how much
our-
did we pay into NATO under Biden and Harris, and how much are we paying into NATO now?
I don't have the exact numbers.
Okay, if you don't have the exact numbers, then how do you know
No,
that we're paying in less?
I don't have the exact numbers.
Then how do you know that
but-
we're paying in less?
Because it just happened like a few days ago. It said that now everyone before we were spending so much more money than anyone else, and nobody was.
Are you talking about like the percentage of our GDPs that we're spending on our own military, and like how he's like been able to successfully get other countries in NATO to like up the percentage of their GDP that they're putting into their own military?
That's in a way we're not spending less, but we're spending less.
Can you just
Because-
affirm or deny that you're talking about what I just said?
What do you mean? That the
So
GDP
is a claim that you're making, are you saying that Donald Trump got a couple other countries in NATO to spend more on their own militaries?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. I mean, I think that that's something that he's advocated for. I don't know if we've seen it or not, but if we had that, it's not a bad thing. I definitely don't think that's enough to say that that's what makes you support him.
No. I was just starting off with something that happened most recently, which I know that they just had a big meeting a couple days ago about it.
Okay. So why do you support Trump?
Okay, let's see. For one, he's finally putting America first in terms of a president, in terms of making us almost outspoken, where before we were kind of not outspoken. We weren't putting America first. Now he's, in terms of our money with, you can go to tariffs, which some of the tariffs were good, some of them are bad, but a lot of the time he just wanted to match the tariffs from what we're charging and they're charging.
Okay, so
Because
you made two false claims there. The first false claim that you made is that his policy is putting America first. The
It is.
second false claim that you made there is that he's been matching reciprocal tariffs on other countries. I'm going to go to
Which is
respond to
true.
the second one, and then I'm going to respond to the first one. So that's actually not true. And like the quote-unquote reciprocal tariffs, he simply wasn't doing reciprocal tariffs. The way in which the White House had calculated the tariffs, quote-unquote, that the other countries had imposed by us was a calculation of our trade deficit. Okay, well, a trade deficit isn't the same thing as what tariffs they have imposed on us, so no, that's not true. Now, as it relates to your first point about his policy putting America first, I actually think that he has consistently put America last. Okay, like for instance, mass deportation puts America last. Only hurts this country, doesn't help it. Violating the constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants in this country and deporting them illegally, like Abrigo Garcia, violating the Constitution is objectively America last. When he called for the termination of the Constitution, America last. His big, beautiful bill that will reduce the after-tax income for 80% of us, definitely putting the average American, therefore putting America last. His foreign policy, bending the knee to Israel, doing whatever the hell they want us to, even if it's involving ourselves in a conflict that we fundamentally have no involvement with. Putting America last. Like, there's the trend that we've seen in the last 155 days. It is a trend of America last ideals that ultimately amount to serve the interests either of himself, rich people, or other countries, but not the interests of the average American.
Okay, so you don't agree with the deportation of illegal immigrants?
Yeah, I think that mass deportation is an America last policy that only hurts this country.
It's
Okay, so then go ahead and identify one very specific way that it numerically, and we're frozen, and then we're back. Go ahead and identify one very specific way that it helps the country.
Let's go in terms of the violence, the crime. I mean, look at California, for example. Violence and crime. I mean, there's been a lot of crime and violence from illegal. That's the main factor. They should not be here.
Okay. So you're saying that if we do
Which
mass
I do
deportation, we'll see
agree.
less violence or crime. So that claim is
I do
false.
agree with in terms of
Can we just talk about that pro that you just identified? Because it's actually not true. We'll see more.
which one, the violence and crime?
Yeah, we'll see more violence and crime if we do mass deportation. First
You
point.
think we'll see more?
I know we'll see more. So first
And why
point,
is that?
undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes than natural U.S.-born citizens. So there's point number one. Point number two is that, well, we see more crime with higher levels of poverty. Mass deportation will increase levels of poverty by weakening the economy. So we'll just literally see more crime after mass deportation. And then point number three, Donald Trump is literally a violent criminal himself. So I wouldn't trust a violent criminal assault.
Oh, we're talking about his what is 34 felonies?
There's 34 felonies in the civil court that held him liable for rape. So
Which-
point number one, undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit all crimes on average. Point number two, because mass deportation will weaken the economy and increase poverty, it'll thereby also increase crime. Point number three, Donald Trump is literally a violent criminal himself. I wouldn't expect a violent criminal to fix violent crime.
How is Trump? I'll come back to that point, but how is Trump a violent criminal?
For sure. So he's a criminal because he's convicted of 34 felonies, and he's violent because he was held civilly liable for rape.
For grape. I thought the whole thing was not even true. But I'm not even going to get into that. That's not what I wanted to bring up. But back to the immigration.
So now you're conceding the third point, right?
No. I was just...
You have two other points that you could respond to there. Feel free.
Yeah, the immigration, the violent, which the percentage, I don't even... Where'd that percentage come from?
Yeah,
Just a website.
PNAS. PNAS is a crime organization that has been researching all crime in this country since the 19th century. And we've consistently seen that undocumented immigrants are significantly less likely to commit all crimes.
Okay. But that's the whole thing is illegal immigrants do commit crime, correct?
Illegal immigrants do commit crime.
I'm saying they're illegal. They shouldn't be here. So if we get them out, then we don't have illegal immigrants running around doing violent things.
Okay, so once again, I've responded.
I know you want to bring up that percentage.
So like your
But I'm
claim
just
is
saying-
like even if we deport them, although they're 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, this still means that they commit some crimes. So if we deport
Yeah,
them all,
that's-
there'll be a lower total amount of crimes, right?
That's all. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's what my point number two addressed. We'll have a higher total number of crimes given to mass deportation because the deportation would weaken the economy, thereby increasing poverty, thereby increasing total crime.
I do agree, will weaken the economy because in terms of they take up a lot of jobs in our economy, which, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so then
it
you
won't
have to
weaken
say
it.
that weakening the economy wouldn't increase poverty, or increasing poverty wouldn't increase crime.
But I think it's something that's only going to last. It's not going to last forever. It might like weaken it at first, almost like with the tariffs. The tariffs might weaken it at first, but we're looking for the future of the U.S. in terms of which earlier when you were.
Can you just
talking
admit
to
that you're
the-
making up this on the spot? You don't actually have an argument to demonstrate that what you're saying is
I do
true.
have an argument.
Okay, yeah. Please tell me that the economic downfalls of mass deportation will only be temporary.
They will, because
Okay.
then
Give me the argument for that.
so then our own U.S. citizens will take over jobs and work those jobs.
Point number one: how many job opportunities will be created via mass deportation?
Again, I'm not looking at a website looking at percentages. There will be
It's 8.3 million. Okay. Point number two: how many open job opportunities are there right now today?
it's probably in the millions, right?
8 million. So if Americans aren't filling the 8 million job opportunities that already exist, why would we expect them to fill the other 8 million job opportunities that would be created via mass deportation?
Because there's going to be more jobs, more different type of jobs. Most of those 8 million jobs probably are not.
There's going to be more jobs. Okay, well, they already have 8 million at their disposal.
I'm saying more of a variety of jobs.
more of a variety of jobs. What's your evidence for that?
Evidence is a lot of those jobs, 8 million jobs that are available, are not high-paying, great careers or jobs, which is
Okay, what do
Like,
you
it's
mean?
almost
What do you
like
mean by
comparing, like-
what do you mean by high paying? Because like
I'm saying
by high paying,
it's
like
almost like
what is your standard of high
comparing,
paying? What is a high income?
I'm almost saying in terms of comparing a fast food job to
What is a high income? What is a high annual income? What do you consider a high paying job? What is the lower
high-paying
threshold
job
of a
is-
high paying
I
job?
mean, it changes from state to state.
On average,
state.
in America, what is your lower threshold for an average high paying job?
Lower threshold, I'd say probably average throughout all states. The median's probably, I would say, what? This economy, probably 60, 70,000.
Closer to 40, 50.
Okay, well, like I said, it depends all state. You
So
can go
then
to
what is your lower
California.
threshold for a high paying job on average?
Lower threshold, high paying job. Yeah, like probably 50, 60.
50, 60. So that's like around like the average job. So in other words, you're saying that out of the 8 million job opportunities that exist, a lot of them aren't going to be the average job. Well, that's not true. A lot of them
Well,
will be
I'm
the average
saying, look,
job because it's the average job.
you can go to California where most people in California, you have to make at least 100 grand down there.
Okay, this
Because,
doesn't matter for the argument though, because once
No,
again,
no,
your
no.
argument
I'm
was a lot
saying
of the
how
8 million jobs that are open right now, a lot of them aren't quote unquote high paying, but then you just equated a high paying job to the average job. So in other words, you're saying that the 8 million job opportunities open right now, a lot of them aren't the average job opportunity. Well, that's not true. A lot of them are the average job opportunity because it's the average job opportunity.
Well, I'm saying it in this perspective. You cannot live in like I said, I'm going from state to state. In California, you cannot live off of a fast food working job.
Okay, I don't understand the relevance of this to your argument.
Like I said, I'm jumping state to state.
What is the relevance of this to your argument?
I mean, can I get to it?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So, like I said, you can go to California, work a fast food job. You cannot live down there. You can go to another state in terms of that has a much lower terms of living. Like, let's say, for example,
No, support the relevance of this to your position. Because remember,
Can I get to
the
it?
position,
I'm trying to get to
the
it.
position that you're trying to argue here is that the 8 million job opportunities that exist today are lower quality than the 8 million job opportunities that would be open via mass deportation. And now you're telling me that you have to have a different income to maintain an average quality of life depending on the state that you live in. I don't understand the relevance of that to your argument.
The relevancy is there's going to be more job opportunities in terms of, let's say, California. There's going to be more jobs that make money, which you cannot live down there with a fast food salary. But you can live off there if you work a blue collar job, a lawn care job.
is-
Those jobs that the relevancy is.
I want the
more job-
relevancy. I'll get to it.
Every time I try to get to, you just interrupt me.
Get to
I'm
the
trying to get
relevance.
to it. Like I said, fast food job, back to California. You cannot live there. In
Okay.
another state, North Dakota.
So what
Oklahoma,
is the relevance?
Dude, you interrupt me in the same spot like 3 times now. I'm trying to get to it.
Relevance.
Fast food job, Oklahoma, North Dakota, you can live off that state in that terms of salary. I'm saying there's going to be better jobs available, more jobs available that are actual life living. You don't understand what I'm saying?
And what's your argument to support that?
I just made the argument. There's going to be
By talking
more
about fast
actual
food jobs in
career
California?
jobs that you can actually live off of.
Okay. So remember the original argument that you made wasn't that if we deport undocumented immigrants, there would be open job opportunities. Okay.
Right.
Obviously, if you remove people from a job, there's an open job opportunity. The
Correct.
arguments that you were trying to make is that the job opportunities that would be open via mass deportation would be of a higher quality than the job opportunities that already exist. Okay, talking about fast food jobs in California doesn't prove that argument, right? So that's why I said that was completely irrelevant.
It was relevant in terms of cost of living.
But even like the cost of living on average in different states isn't relevant to the position that the job opportunities that would be open via mass deportation are of a higher quality than the job opportunities that already exist. The idea that quality of life relative to median income differs on what state you live in, right? Isn't it relevant to that at all?
I'm saying I mean, you can look at minimum wage in different states.
Okay, but that doesn't inform us anything about your position that you're arguing. That position that you're arguing being that the job opportunities that would be created via mass deportation are of a higher quality than the job opportunities that already exist. What do you like? You get that?
Yeah, I kind of get that.
Right, precisely. So without talking about this irrelevant garbage, right? Support your argument that if we did a mass deportation, the new 8 million job opportunities would be of a higher quality than the ones in which already exist.
I was saying it's also more of a variety. And like I said,
right, even like a variety. I mean, I would actually love for you to try to justify that. Because I mean, I'm actually like not necessarily led to believe that, right? I'm asking you for your evidence for that point. So what's your evidence for that point?
Evidence is, I mean, look, if you go out into the job market, a lot of the jobs that people want to get into and are actually great career jobs are filled. And the jobs that are open are the low quality, low income, not in terms of actual career jobs.
Okay, well, I don't think that he's going to be able to demonstrate the relevance. Here's what I'll say to you. I don't think that you should be trying to make an economic argument when you know nothing about economics. So would you like to continue to try to make an argument, but sound kind of silly, or would you like to move on?
I can bring up another point.
Great. So we'll move on, but maybe before we do, we could take a little bit more of like a high level approach to this, and I could give you a different argument to justify why you're wrong. Okay, because you're still trying to argue that the long-term outcomes of mass deportation won't be harmful on the economy. Well, let's think about it this way, right? If we deported every undocumented immigrant tomorrow, and I snapped my fingers, and for whatever reason we had a citizen replace every single one of those 8.3 million job opportunities that would be created, our economy would still downsize because we wouldn't be able to replace the 12 million undocumented consumers on the demand side of our economy.
Okay.
Because we'll just have a total loss in the amount of consumers. You can't just fill in the spot of a consumer. So therefore, our economy will forever operate at a lower level of efficiency.
I do understand that, but I think it's also for the safety of, like I said, I know we're going to bring back to the point where you said illegal immigrants, 2.5% less crime. But in general, they're still illegal. I have no problem. Like Trump said, he's trying to get them in legally. He's trying to get these people actually in the country legally, so we don't have to, deport these people.
Okay, the lag is over. So then once again, you were saying that it's back for the safety of Americans. Well, I've already given you an argument to justify that there will be more total crime in this country if we do a mass deportation.
I don't think there's going to be more crime.
Well, I was able to give you an argument for that. The economy would downsize. It would be less efficient. It'd be worse. Okay, and you actually just conceded to that. Okay, well, with a worse economy comes more poverty, right?
I suppose.
Okay, more poverty comes more crime because a lot of crime is directly consequential of individuals' material conditions. So you just conceded that, yeah, if we did a mass deportation, there would be a higher number of total crime in this country.
I guess that all does kind of tie together.
It does tie together.
Okay,
so now that you know that mass deportation will hurt the economy and increase crime, why would you support policy that hurts the economy and increases crime?
I feel like because we are going to deport these people, that is true, but we're also going to, it's not like we're kicking them out and they can't come back in. We just want them in legally.
Well, I have a better solution. So even if we kick them out and then have them wait in line for 20 years to be here legally, that's still going to take a massive hit on the economy and still increase crime. What if we just allowed them to stay in the country and we had them take an expedited pathway to residency or citizenship while they're still contributing to the labor force and consuming American goods? That
Which
way,
we do have
our economy will not be worse off, right? And crime will not go up. Doesn't that make significantly more sense? Just to allow them to stay in the country and grant them mass amnesty?
That does, but then we look at you. Have you heard about the Nebraska, the meat place there? 80% of the workers were illegal.
No, and I haven't heard about it until now. I don't understand how that's relevant to the argument.
The relevancy is that they didn't deport them. They sent them to a detention center, and they are working to get them in legally. They did not just deport them. So not every illegal immigrant that we see, we're deporting them. Some are going into, like I said, detention centers and are getting worked towards becoming legal the right way, not just coming in our country the wrong way, which they all know they're doing it the wrong way.
So actually, that was repealed. So they changed their mind there. They are now going back to deporting hospitality and hotel workers. So that's not true. But I just want to clarify, do you support mass amnesty, the idea of offering the undocumented immigrants that are in this country without prior violent offenses a pathway to residency or citizenship so they could continue to operate in this country, compared to mass deportation, which is what Donald Trump wants to do, of deporting any and all undocumented immigrants?
I do.
Okay. Well, I just got you to concede, right? That
See,
mass
but it's all
deportation is bad and there's preferable alternatives. So earlier, when I said that Donald Trump is placing America last via his immigration policy, such as mass deportation, you'd actually agree with that point now.
Okay. Well, I guess I do.
Okay, so why do you support a president that puts this country last?
Bring up another point. We will go to the tax cuts in terms of no tax on tips, tax breaks. So what do you have to say about his whole tax
Well,
bill.
the big beautiful bill is 831 pages. When we account for all 831 pages, it actually ends up hurting the average American. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, it redistributes wealth from the poor to the rich by reducing the after-tax income of every American in this country with a gross annual income under $130,000 annually. Okay, and I mean, you could read the report for yourself to see how the figures work out, but at the end of the day, the bottom 20% of income earners in this country is going to go down on average by $2,200 per year. Now, the top 1% of income earners in this country, their after-tax income is going to go up on average by $25,500 per year. So this is yet another example of how Donald Trump places this country last. And this doesn't even begin to account or explore the fact that this redistribution of wealth from the poor to the rich is estimated by the Congressional Budget Office to cost America $4 trillion in debt-related spending over the course of the next 10 years.
Okay.
So like now we have this double whammy here where Donald Trump is hurting the economy, increasing poverty and increasing crime via his mass deportation, and Donald Trump is hurting the economy, increasing poverty and increasing crime via his big beautiful bill and redistribution of wealth from the poor to the rich.
I don't think, obviously everything in the big beautiful bill is not good, but I do think some of it is good.
I agree that some of it is good. But we must account for the total impact of the bill. And when we account for the total impact of the bill, we get the conclusions that I just stated.
Okay. But if you look at every bill, not every bill is perfect. You can go back to bills that were passed under the Biden administration. Not every single one helped the average American.
Keep in mind that we're having a conversation here about why you support Trump. And so far in this conversation, I've been able to demonstrate how like two of his biggest policies, mass deportation and his tax relief, quote unquote, are designed to only hurt this country.
I think it's lagging.
It is lagging a little bit. That is a really bad frame for it to pause on. What a terrible frame for the live to pause on. I'm back now. Jesus Christ. What a terrible, terrible frame for the live to pause on. I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I just said. So once again, the position is very simple. You said that you support Trump, and now we've been able to agree that he puts this country worse via his tax policy, which redistributes wealth from the poor to the rich, and via his mass deportation, which hurts the economy, increasing poverty, increasing crime. So in lieu of these two facts, why do you still support him?
Okay, let's go to... I can bring up another point. That's fine.
Sure, but I mean, now it's like
No,
you
I'm
have
not
to
gonna
be
lie.
able to give some very compelling reason why he's a good president, because now you have to be able to grant like overwhelmingly good things that he's doing to combat these overwhelmingly bad things that we just agreed on.
Okay. Which, like I said, they both have negative and positive. But like I said, yes, you have educated me in terms of the mass immigration
Right.
and in terms of the bill.
So what's the overwhelmingly good things that he's doing to combat these overwhelmingly bad things?
Okay. First off, I'm going to go in terms of America's seen as a country as a whole in terms of military. Okay. Start off in terms of Israel. I think our whole just backing them just right off and bombing Iran was not good.
Okay.
I don't know why.
There's another bad things Trump is
Okay,
doing.
listen,
Let's add
I'm
that to
getting
the bank
to-
alongside the mass deportation and the
But
big
at the
beautiful
same
bill.
time, Iran is much worse than Israel. Iran is a terrorist country, and they just backed out of the nuclear safety.
I think that Iran is very, very bad, but I don't know if Iran is doing an ethnic cleansing / genocide of an entire ethnic group of individuals.
Which I don't like. I'm not a fan of Israel, but my whole thing is Israel is our ally, and Iran is not our ally. So you know how Iran just backed out of their the whole nuclear safety thing, so that now they're going to mass produce nukes, which that happened like a day or two ago, if you look it up. Which that whole thing was they can walk through, see that they're doing everything, the way it's supposed to be done, but they backed out of that. So now,
like the nuclear peace agreement that we had with the country, they backed out of that?
Iran backed out of the whole thing.
Would you hypothetically, if it was actually one of our presidents that pulled us out of that, would you agree that that president basically greenlit Iran for their further development of nuclear weapons?
What do you mean, like hypothetically,
If it wasn't Iran that backed out, but if it was America that backed out, and tore that agreement up that prevented them from developing nuclear weapons. Can we agree that that president would have essentially greenlit Iran to construct weapons of mass destruction?
I don't know about that.
Okay, well,
What do you mean by greenlit? Like almost push them in that
no,
direction?
we just
to
gave
do
them
that?
the go-ahead to develop the nukes because we pulled out of the out of the agreement, out of the contract that prevented them from developing the nukes. I mean, like, think about it. Like, that's basically like an international law contract. So,
when did we pull out?
yeah, for sure. 2018 under Trump. Donald Trump pulled
2018?
us out of that nuclear peace agreement. Right now, you're sitting on live saying that Iran did it 2 days ago. No, Donald Trump did it 4 years
No,
ago.
no, no. They
6
just
years ago.
You can literally search it up. Iran just
We didn't have
got
a
out of the
nuclear.
whole
We
safety
didn't have a
thing.
nuclear peace agreement with them. They
Well,
haven't
they
had that
had
since
one with
2018.
they had one with somebody else. I don't know.
Who?
I know
no,
they
no,
just
the nuclear peace agreement that Donald Trump pulled us out of was like with 5 other countries. The whole thing went to shit.
but I know Iran just a couple days ago they got rid of their whole safety thing. So now they don't have to walk
What was
through
the name of
them.
the agreement that Iran pulled out of 2 days ago?
I don't have it off my head.
Well, you're going to have to get it then, because guess what? I've been keeping up with every single thing that's been being reported on the topic for the last 5 days, and I've seen nothing about what you're talking about. What is more likely is you finally just saw reporting that you had no clue about that originated from 2018 when Donald Trump pulled us out, and you misinterpreted it as stating that Iran pulled us out like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, Iran did like 2-3 days ago.
That's just a lie. I mean, I'm telling you that Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA in 2018, and I'm asking you for the agreement that I guess Iran pulled out of 2 days ago. It didn't exist.
I don't think it was an agreement with the U.S. though.
Who was it with?
I want to. Who was it with? Because I just saw it. I literally just saw it. But it's pretty much in terms of that they're going to.
Who is it with? Who's the agreement with?
I'd have to search it up.
Didn't do it. Search it up. Jesus Christ, everybody, what's going on today? You know, I gotta say, I'm rather tired today, guys. I've been dealing with some sleep issues. I'm just trying to keep my shit together. But you know, these conversations are making it rough. Let me tell you. So before I went to bed last night, I did some sleepy time tea. I took some melatonin, and I still woke up 4 times throughout the middle of the night. It's been rough recently, everybody. But yo, Case, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Case says, what's your honest opinion on frogs? Love them. Thanks for the $10, Case. Also, eBear, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. Holy shit. eBear says, got wisdom tooth out today with no anesthesia, and I had to listen to the song Fuck Donald Trump to power through. Holy fuck, you are a unit, eBear. I can't even imagine how painful that must have been. Thank you for the $20. Show some love to eBear down below in the chat. Thank you guys so much. But anyways, welcome back, Smith.
All right.
By the way, we can't hear you when you're on pause. Just thought I would clarify that for you.
I bet. I'm trying to look at it and then say it at the same time.
Great.
But
Oh my God, yo! Christian with the $200 over on PayPal. Jesus, dude. Guys, can we get 2,000 Christian W's down below in that live chat right the fuck now for the $200 donation over on PayPal? Dude, that is so incredibly kind of you, man. Thank you so much for the love. I am absolutely undeserving. Please show some love to Christian down below in those live chats. Add fucking once for the $200 donation. That is so incredibly kind of you. As well as Taryn with the $5, Anna, NA with the $5, and Pamela. Thank you so much for the $10. And Pamela, I read your message. That is incredibly kind of you. But guys, seriously, show some love to Christian down below. Holy shit. So Smith, what agreement did they pull out of?
they withdrew from the IAEA, which means there is no longer any nuclear inspections.
Dude, you're telling me that they only did this 2 days ago?
It just said breaking news.
Okay. Do you know what the IAEA is?
It's nuclear inspections.
So the IAEA is the let me see, IAEA. The IAEA is the International Atomic Energy Agency.
Right.
What role did the IAEA play in the original nuclear peace agreement that we had signed with Iran?
The original.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about before we pulled out 2018?
Mm-hmm.
They did the inspections.
Yeah, they were the people that had the 24/7 access to surveillance of their nuclear facilities in accordance with the deal. When Donald Trump pulled us out of that deal, honestly, I was under the impression that that's when they were like, the IAEA, get the fuck out of here. Okay, Donald Trump pulled us out of the contract obligating us to give you guys oversight. So, I mean, I think that this was a breaking news in 2018, man. And once again, the only reason why Iran rejected the IAEA was because the IAEA only had a right to oversee their nuclear enrichment facilities as a part of the agreement that we signed with them. Okay, and what we were giving to them in return for them giving us oversight over their nuclear facilities was lifting sanctions that we had imposed on the country and unfreezing some of their bank accounts in South Korea. All right. Well, guess what, bro? The moment that Donald Trump pulled us out of that agreement, the sanctions were re-implemented and reinforced, and we then refroze their bank accounts in South Korea. So of course they're going to turn around and tell the IAEA to skedaddle, and that's fucking Trump's fault for pulling us out of the nuclear peace agreement.
Okay, I'm giving you off of the information I'm seeing is that they did it 2 days ago. This is from what I'm seeing.
If it was 2 days ago, it was Trump's fault, and it was honestly very kind of Iran for staying in it for so many years after he pulled us out.
But they pull out right after they were supposed to commit to the peace agreement between Israel and Iran. You don't think that's a bad thing? Right after they pull out,
what the fuck? What do you mean they were going to commit to a peace? What?
The whole ceasefire.
The
You know what I'm talking about? The
ceasefire.
12-hour ceasefire, and then Israel shot off a bunch of bombs.
Oh,
Iran
wait,
shot off a bunch of
fuck.
bombs.
Wait, fuck, you're right. Oh my God. Wait, I actually didn't even know this. Yeah, this was reported 6 hours ago. So the Iranian parliament approved a bill to suspend cooperation with the IAEA, and that was after we hit their nuclear facilities. That's Trump's fault. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. So Donald Trump goes in there, he strikes their nuclear facilities, he lies about a ceasefire agreement, then Iran is like, well, we'll still agree to the terms nonetheless, and then Israel violates that ceasefire agreement, and then Iran responds by being like, oh, dude, fuck these guys. Not only did this asshole Donald Trump originally pull us out of the nuclear peace agreement that helped them and help us, but now he's bombing us, and he's like talking about fake ceasefire agreements, and then their ally that got him into the war, Israel, is violating them and committing war crimes by dropping bombs on our prisons. Fuck, dude, get that nuclear watchdog the hell out of here. We're gonna do whatever the hell we want now. We are pissed that that these Western countries have fucked with us so much. We are now going to reject the UN. We're going to reject the IAEA, and guess what? Now you guys will never know if we are close to developing nukes again. And that was a direct consequence of Donald Trump.
Okay, so let's see. The fact that I brought up the whole time saying I was wrong turned out to be right. So 1. 2, they do this right after they were supposed to be in a ceasefire peace agreement with Israel.
That Israel violated.
Yes, which Israel was wrong, but Iran violated too. They both violated.
No, Iran did not violate it. No, you're lying.
So
Israel lied about
off
that.
any bombs.
That is Israeli propaganda. So
Iran didn't shoot off any bombs.
What happened was that Iran, just like Israel did, they both did this, by the way, they launched missiles at each other before the ceasefire went into effect. And some of those missiles landed in Israel after the ceasefire agreement went into effect. And then Israel turned around and falsely claimed that they launched the missiles after the ceasefire agreement went into effect. And this was all after Israel violated it first.
Which, yeah, if you saw Trump's whole thing, he said he wasn't happy with either of them. He said he wasn't happy with Israel, which he's been pretty much kiss-assing to Israel this whole time.
Right, because Israel violated the ceasefire agreement.
Yes.
Okay, so do we see here how Donald Trump's cooperation with Israel has now led to Iran revoking the IAEA's oversight of their nuclear facilities?
I understand that, but at the same time, we have to back Israel. Israel is our ally.
Why the fuck do we need to back Israel?
Why don't
we have a conditional allyship with them? We shouldn't be allies with them.
We shouldn't, but
absolutely we shouldn't.
No, I agree with that. We shouldn't, but we are. We're America. We have to back all of our allies. We can't just let them bomb them and be like, oh yeah,
no. We totally don't have to back allies, especially when our allies are ethnically cleansing other countries and starting the war. Like seriously, who started the war? Israel or Iran?
Israel did.
Great. So why do we need to back Israel if they're starting wars with other countries? Literally, give me the defense for that. Give me the defense for the idea that we have to unconditionally back Israel.
Because we have to be looked at as a strong country. If you don't back our allies, which I don't know, like I said, I don't agree being their allies, but they are our allies. We have to back them. It is our duty as
Oh,
an ally to
okay.
them.
So then you think that Donald Trump is making America look weak as fuck because he's not honoring the Budapest Memorandum that we signed with Ukraine in the 90s, obligating us contractually to provide them money, weapons, and humanitarian aid in the event that they're invaded?
No. That's
Oh,
not
but I
what-
thought that we have to back
No.
our allies and that we have to hold to our agreements.
In terms of them being attacked, yes.
So,
Did I just talk to this guy?
So then you think that Donald Trump is making us look weak as fuck by revoking funding to Ukraine?
No, funding versus.
But we're not.
us
But I
actually
thought
going
that
and
you just.
defending.
I thought that you just said that not backing our allies is
talking
something that
about
makes
two different
America
things,
look
though.
weak. No, I'm not. We
You
have
are.
an allyship with Ukraine in the sense that we have a signed Budapest Memorandum with them from the 90s that contractually obligated us to give them money, weapons, and funding in the event that they were invaded by another country. Okay, backing that ally would be holding to the agreement, giving them what we agreed to give them. Not backing the ally would be violating that agreement and not giving them what we agreed to give them. Donald Trump is, doing that second option of not backing the ally, meaning that he's making America look weak because you said when we don't back our allies, we look weak. Honestly, I think when we unconditionally support anybody that we consider an ally in whatever venture, even if they're the one that started the conflict, it's our fault. It's something that we're obligated to help them with. That's what makes us look weak because it shifts the dynamic from America putting America first to America putting Israel first. Like you're literally just trying to give me a secular argument for the idea that no matter what, we need to bend the knee to whatever Israel wants us to do. Woo, I'm going to hypnotize you all. Guys, we have to do whatever Israel wants us to do. Do you sound how fucking silly that sounds?
We were lagging.
I'm back now. Sorry. The
Okay,
lag is
there we
over.
are.
Do you sound how fucking silly that sounds to say that we just have to back whatever Israel ever wants us to do?
Like I said, I don't like Israel. I don't think we should back them, but we do. We have an ally. We're allies.
Wait, by the way, Smith, I have a question. Did I talk to you earlier?
No.
No?
Okay.
No,
So then respond to
no,
my
I
argument
spoke
as it
up
relates
an
to
hour ago.
Ukraine. Then respond to my argument as it relates to Ukraine.
Respond to your argument. What do you mean by that?
Respond to the argument that I made that demonstrates a double standard in your ideas here as it relates
Okay,
to
well,
the idea that we don't have to back Ukraine even though we have a quote-unquote allyship with them as it relates to the Budapest Memorandum.
Okay, you're talking about funding, and how much funding have we already sent Ukraine?
$126
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right.
What was it?
Yeah. 126 billion.
Yeah, we've sent a lot of money over there.
Okay, so you're basically selling that even though we're technically contractually obligated to help them more, you think that we've already helped them enough, so therefore it doesn't make us look weak if we stop helping them. I'd say the same thing about Israel.
It's a little different with Israel though, because Iran.
Why is it
Russia-
different with Israel?
You know the reason why it's
if
different.
anything, we'd have more reason
No,
to
no.
not support Israel because they're the aggressor and Ukraine is a victim.
You know the reason why it's different is Russia doesn't have chance about America die, America die. Russia is not saying they're going to do anything to America. Iran has made multiple threats saying New York City's first, saying they're going to.
Okay, well that's not true. That's coming
Bomb
from a
America.
fake Iran account on Twitter. But now you're
No,
completely
it's
shifting.
not.
Yes, it is. Are you
It
kidding
was literally
me?
on the news. It was on the news.
The death to America was on the news, but the whole bombing New York, that was from a fake Iranian Twitter account. But now you're completely shifting the argument. You're saying that we don't need to help them because Israel's our ally. We need to help them because Iran is a chance death to America. So which one is it? Pick an argument. You
The difference is,
slimy,
like I said, the
you
difference is-
slimy pivoting MFer.
No. The difference is Russia is not threatening to do anything to America.
Okay, so then it has
Russia-
nothing to do with the allyship with Israel and all to do with the threats from Iran.
What you just said, you made the point why we shouldn't help Israel versus why.
Right. Because
you
no.
said made no
You
sense.
said that we should help Israel because we're allies with them, and I refuted
Correct.
that by giving you the example of Ukraine. So now you're pivoting and you're changing the argument away from the fact that we should help them because we're allies with them to the argument that we should help them because Iran doesn't like us.
I'm saying that we have to put more of a focus on the Iran and Israel war because Iran is
Because Iran doesn't like us. Okay, well, same thing with North Korea. North Korea also chants death to America. So if Donald Trump dropped a nuke on North
But-
Korea, would you say that's an example of his strong leadership that puts his country first because they chant death to America?
But North Korea isn't fighting with anyone right now. North Korea is just
Actually,
doing
yes.
something.
No, actually, false. Yes, they are. They're fighting Ukraine. Oh my God!
they're not.
Wait! Oh my God! Whoa! You just made the argument identical. Yes. So Ukraine is our ally in the sense that we have the signed Budapest Memorandum with them from the 90s. We're contractually obligated to help them, so they're going to be our ally in the similar sense. And now Ukraine is fighting North Korea because North Korea deployed troops to fight alongside the Russian Federation inside of Ukraine, and they're also chanting death to America the same way that Iran has struck another one of our allies, Israel, and chants death to America. America. So everything that you are arguing here, insofar as why you think we should support Israel, is identically true insofar as why we should support Ukraine and bomb North Korea.
No.
What's the difference?
Absolutely
What's the
not.
difference?
Absolutely
What's the
not.
difference? North Korea is attacking one of our quote-unquote allies, and North Korea chants death to America.
North Korea is a lot different than Iran.
What's the difference? What's the difference in the relevant sense of the argument that you're making? What is it? Both of them are attacking one of our quote-unquote allies, and both of them chant death to America.
Okay. Iran is a terrorist group.
Okay,
Iran is-
wait. You consider them terrorists because they weren't... Oh, let the lag pass. Okay, the lag has passed. So you're saying that they're like a terrorist group because they weren't democratically
I'm not
elected
just-
and they
no,
violated
I'm not
the
talking
human
about
rights
just
of people in
Iran.
the country, right?
Oh, there's more lag.
Okay.
It just,
Is the lag good?
yeah, I think it's
I think it's better now.
So you're saying that like the leadership of Iran is a terrorist group because they violate the human rights of the people in their country and they weren't democratically elected, correct?
correct.
Okay.
But we want.
So I have a question. Was the leadership of North Korea? I have
a
a question. Was the leadership of North Korea democratically elected?
no, far
Does
from
the
it.
leadership of North Korea violate the human rights of the people in the country?
No. Yeah.
So given your same logic, they're also a T group.
I suppose
Okay. So then what's the difference?
the difference is, I don't see how North Korea is even. You said they sent troops when they did that
Yeah, this was
I've
I don't
never-
know,
I've
maybe
never
like
seen or
4 or
heard
5
about
months
that.
ago. Yep.
4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, they've had troops fighting alongside the Russian Federation, boots on the ground in Ukraine.
I didn't even know that.
Now you do. So there's no
I do.
difference here. So if Donald Trump dropped a nuke on North Korea, you'd say that would be a strong decision that put this country first. JK Phoenix, thank you for the Galaxy. See how your argument here just makes no fucking sense at all?
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
It does, but it doesn't. Well, that's
It does,
concession.
it does, but it doesn't. Because my whole thing is we're backing our allies. We still have backed
Okay,
Ukraine.
wait. So then
The
you would
way
say
you're
that we
saying we're
should
not backing
definitely.
Ukraine
Then
is-
you'd say that we should definitely be backing Ukraine, right?
we are backing Ukraine.
No, you revoked all funding.
Yeah, because we already sent so much money.
Okay, well then once again, I already made the counter argument to this. You were just like not simply tracking. We've
And the
sent
thing
more
is- no,
money
no, no.
to Israel than we have to Ukraine. $300 billion to Israel, $126 billion to Ukraine.
Well, because we're controlled by Israel, pretty much.
Oh, okay. So then if we're controlled by Israel, then it's not America first, it's Israel first. So then earlier when you told us that the main reason that you support and voted for Donald J. Trump is because he puts America first, no, you just conceded that he puts Israel first.
I still think he definitely still puts America first. But
How can he put
the
America first when we're controlled by another country that isn't America? What?
It's because okay. Let's put it in this perspective.
Come on, bro.
No. Listen. Okay, so like I said earlier, I don't agree with supporting Israel, but Israel and Jews in general have a very
Jewish people. And honestly, no, man. I'm fine with agreeing with you that like the state of Israel has influence over the American government. But the moment you go from saying the state of Israel to Jewish people is the moment you become an anti-Semitic piece of shit.
No. I wasn't saying in that way. I was just saying as in terms of our government. Israel people. Here, I'll put it. I'm not gonna say that again. But Israel people, they do have a good amount of say and control in our government.
You're just using a different word to exchange for the word Jewish individuals, bro. You understand that Jewish
People who
individuals
are from
wait.
Israel.
I want to, dude. Let me clarify here. So Jewish individuals are not necessarily Zionists. Jewish individuals do not necessarily support the state of Israel. Jewish individuals do not necessarily support AIPAC and the influence in which they have over the American government. Jewish individuals are not necessarily Zionists. So the moment that you replace like a term like Zionist, the moment that you replace like a term like a leader of the IDF or Benjamin Netanyahu or the government of the state of Israel with the term Jewish person, oh, more lag. Is the moment that you go from like kind of tracking truth to being anti-Semitic.
What's up with the lag today?
I don't know.
It's kinda
I think
spiky.
it's my computer. Couldn't tell you. But I've already given you an argument to demonstrate that if you say that we have any type of obligation to support Israel, we'd also have that same obligation to support Ukraine. The first reason that you gave that we have an obligation to support Israel just simply because we have an allyship with them. Okay, well, I also demonstrated that simple allyship, quote unquote, with Israel, with Ukraine, given the Budapest Memorandum we signed with them in the 90s, contractually obligating us to defend them if they're invaded. So then you moved on. You said, okay, well, no, that's not the case. We also have an obligation to support them because Iran is a terrorist state, right? So then I demonstrated to you how so is North Korea. So would you be okay with bombing North Korea? And you're like, no, like the difference there was that this terrorist state of Iran is actively harming one of our allies. So then I also filled you in on how the terrorist state of North Korea is actively harming our ally of Ukraine. And at the end of the day, you're just simply not willing to hold an identical position insofar as supporting Ukraine or bombing North Korea. So therefore your logic fails as you only special plea and apply it as it relates to Iran and Israel.
Okay. Okay. Then the main difference is the whole Ukraine and Russia war has been going on since It's really been going on since 2013. Was that right? 2014,
2014 was when they annexed Crimea.
2014, which Russia started that war. They annexed I can't think of the state right now, but they annexed that, whatever. I forgot the name of that.
Okay, why is this relevant at all? I mean, like, Israel's been attacking Palestine for longer than that, 1948.
Yeah,
but this shouldn't be relevant at all, really.
I mean, it is somewhat relevant.
Okay, why? Why is it relevant?
Okay. It's relevant.
Why?
Because I'm getting there.
Get there.
It's relevant. The annex Russia and that. This war in Iran has been going on for much longer, and they don't even know. I mean, they're fighting for what
The war in
reason?
Iran has been going on for much longer, bro. What? No,
Yeah, I'm saying Israel and
like
Iran
a week ago. But like you're just saying that the conflict has been going on for much longer. Okay, all right. Well, this shouldn't matter. Why does this matter?
I'm saying we want it to end. We want Iran to get a new government in, a non-terrorist,
Oh, wait, so you want a regime change in Iran? Okay, well then you shouldn't support Donald Trump because he explicitly said that he didn't want a regime change twice.
I thought he did want a whole different government change. That's the whole reason why
he said that. He said that in between. Okay, see, so he said that he didn't want a regime change. Then he said that he did want a regime change. But guess what? Now you don't support him again because he clarified for the third time that he doesn't want a regime change.
So what? We just want to bomb them?
Yep.
So we just want to bomb them and blow up all their nuke privileges.
Oh, well, actually, no. We only set him back up around 2 months, according to U.S. intelligence.
Yeah, I know. We only hit the outside. They moved most of their actual...
Yeah, we just want to bomb them. So do we see here how, like, once again, you're no longer responding to their... Honestly, man, I'm going to go in and give you one last chance to be able to refute the position of how your logic would imply identically that we should be supporting Ukraine and bombing North Korea. If you can't not respond to that, I'm going to go and kick you and move on because you are quite annoying.
Quite annoying. It's
That's
not
right.
nice.
That's probably the kindest way I could put it, sir. So either respond to that position or I'm going to move on.
Okay, Ukraine. We've sent 160 billion.
I've already responded to that argument. I don't want you to repeat anything that's already been rehashed. We've rehashed this three times. So once again, if your argument is that we've already sent them this much money, so therefore we don't have an obligation to support them further, the same thing can be said about Israel. We sent over $300 billion to Israel. We've already done so much for them, therefore we don't have an obligation to do anything more.
Okay. I'll just end off with that.
Great. Have the rest of your day. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. If you're in that queue, make sure that means that you support Donald J. Trump. Everybody, we are just looking for some debates. And
How long have you been on so far?
Been on for an hour and 20 minutes. Ansgar, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube. Ansgar says, Iran continued to comply with a deal Trump tore up voluntarily. Yep, they were complying with the inspectors and everything. Yep, the IAEA reported 0 infractions in 3 years, 110%. You were right on the money. Thank you for the $20, Ansgar. That is incredibly kind of you. If you're watching the stream and you would like to support me, you could find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio, everybody. I get 100% of the proceeds over on those platforms, as well as you could attach a message that I could then turn around and share on live. Possibly. We'll see how I'm feeling. I was honestly like planning on ending around an hour early anyways, just because I'm really tired. But yo, we're going to move on to the next guest, Trinity. 20 minutes ago with the $15 over on Venmo. Trinity says, been watching your lives every day for the last week, and I already feel more educated than ever. Thank you for everything that you do. I love you and your work. That is incredibly kind of you, Trinity. Y'all show some love to Trinity down below in that chat, as well as Aaliyah and Azula with the $5 and the $3. That is incredibly kind of y'all. I'd also like to thank Elena for the $10 over on PayPal, and Ansgar with the $20 over on PayPal. Show some love to Aaliyah and Ansgar down below in that chat. As well as London, I'm reading your message there. Congratulations. What is going on, Trump missiles? Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Oh, God. Why do you support the man, the myth, the menace?
First of all, prices of eggs are going down.
Slay, okay. All right.
Yep. Second of all, he is deporting criminals of our country. And
Deporting the illegal aliens. Yep.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. So what has he done to reduce inflation?
He put tariffs.
Tariffs cause
On-
inflation.
Well, they went up and now they're going down.
The reason why we've seen a reduction in the price of eggs has been because of a repopulations of chickens following the bird flu, not because of anything that Trump has done.
Actually, you know what, Dean? He might have an argument here. The tariffs, when imposed, because they were only imposed for a short period of time, did mitigate inflation because they led to GDP declining 0.3% real GDP in the first quarter of 2025 after multiple quarters of multiple percentage points of real GDP growth under the Biden-Harris administration. So, like, you might have an argument there. Like, it led to downward pressure on prices because the economy might be heading towards a recession.
Yeah, that's what the one argument is, like the reduction in the GDP. So, like, we saw a 44% surge in imports and a massive reduction in consumer confidence. So this meant that American companies had more goods to sell and less consumers were buying them since they were saving more. That would lead to a reduction in inflation, but that's a recession indicator. So, no, it's not a good reduction in inflation.
US,
So in other words,
UK.
the first argument that you've given here is basically saying that you support Trump because he might be sending our country into a recession. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. That's kind of nuts, bro.
The US-UK trade agreement in June.
US-UK trade agreement, phenomenal. Now tell me, what tariffs did we have on them before that trade agreement, and what tariffs do we have on them after that trade agreement?
Well, it lowers U.S. tariffs on British cars. So that's something that Trump did.
Oh
And you
wait,
think reducing tariffs is good, right?
yeah. So that means that reducing tariffs is a great thing, isn't that right? Right.
It lowered,
Oh, yeah.
Right, so you support reducing tariffs, correct?
sometimes.
Oh, so then you must absolutely fucking hate the fact that he increased tariffs.
Oh, Dean, it's totally cut out.
Okay,
You're back.
I'm back. Sorry, I could see the lag on my phone, everybody. I know when it comes. So anyways, I'll go to repeat myself. Oh, so you must fucking hate the fact that Donald Trump increased tariffs to 55% on our second largest importer, China.
So we're gonna ignore the fact that
Who in the background just said stop talking like that?
we're gonna ignore the fact that prices of UK cars are going down.
No, sure, for sure. Reducing tariffs on UK cars, that's great, man. Who the fuck wants who the fuck wants a Fiat though? I mean, let's be real. And sorry, that's a joke. Joke aside, so our imports of UK cars are significantly lower than our imports of all goods from China. So increasing tariffs on China to 55% is definitely a little bit more of a detriment to the American consumer than reducing tariffs on some goods imported from the UK.
Yeah. So he's lowering prices. There's another thing.
Dude, no, he's increasing prices more than he's lowering them.
50-50.
No, not a 50-50. We do not import as many British cars. We do not import as many British cars as we do all goods, all consumable goods from China. It's not a 50-50.
Tell me why.
Wait, no, agree or disagree? Do we import just as many British cars as we do all commodities from China?
No.
So it is not a 50-50.
This is a good thing, but you're ignoring the.
Now you're contradicting yourself because you said it was a good thing to reduce tariffs, and now you're saying it's a good thing that overall he's increasing tariffs. Oh my God.
The prices of everything are going down. So
Actually, no. Core inflation has risen to 2.8%, and me and Parker already attributed reasons why we would have seen a reduction in inflation in the first term, which was because we were literally heading towards a recession.
And
Yeah,
it's not
like
Trump's fault.
that's not. Wait, that is literally because of Trump because he imposed the tariffs just for a tiny bit of time.
Nope. Not true.
Yes, it is. Wait. I can tell you exactly why it is true. Are you ready?
All right, tell me then.
There's two really big reasons for the reduction in GDP in the first financial quarter. That was a surge in imports and a reduction in consumer confidence. What do you think could have surged imports into America in the first financial quarter of this year? Maybe it was the threat/promise of Liberation Day tariffs going into effect on April 2nd on every other country in the world. What could have reduced consumer confidence in the first financial quarter of this year? Maybe it was the 5 to 7% drops in the S&P 500 caused by the imposition of tariffs on Mexico and Canada, plus the threat/promise of imposition of tariffs on April 2nd on every other country in the world. And maybe, maybe, a surge in imports and a reduction in consumer confidence/spending would lead to an increase in supply and a reduction in demand, reducing equilibrium prices while also reducing GDP growth. Meaning that, yeah, the reason why inflation fell in the first financial quarter was A, because of Donald Trump's policy, and B, an indicator of a recession.
I just bought eggs today, and guess what? The prices were down. Thank you, Trump.
Dude, this guy's like a peanut. You have a peanut brain. You have a peanut brain. And honestly, it's not even one of those. Have you guys ever, like, you guys know those peanuts that don't even have like two of the nuts in them? It just has like the one nut. You know, like the one nut peanuts. Like
Those are my favorite.
the one nut peanuts. That's your brain. Not even like I'm not even gonna give you the two nut peanuts. I'm just gonna give you the one nut peanut.
And you know what you get? You get a bean.
Can I ask you a question? If you were like you're in a driving race, like a NASCAR race, and you pass the person in second place, what place are you now in?
I've answered this before. Second place.
Okay. How many branches of government are there?
6.
What? No, there's actually 7.
Oh yeah. Who was the third president?
Thomas Jefferson.
I can't. I can't.
So
I
do you
can't.
support?
Can you spell economy?
Yes. Like what?
Spell it.
Spell it.
ECONOMY.
Good job.
Yep.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. So, if you guys wouldn't mind just giving us a second here to get that next guest up on the line, that would be great. We're gonna go to move on. Here we go, everybody. I understand that we're having some intermittent lag. I see it all on my phone. So whenever you guys are spamming lag in the chat, just know that I know about it. I have my cellular device popped up just like every single one of y'all. It is really bad today. I think I need to get that new PC. Yo, what's going on, man? One moment. Anthony! Thank you so much for the $25 donation over on PayPal. My man, I want to get 250 Anthony W's down below in that chat while we're loading that next guest up. Anthony says it's humbling to look at somebody half my age, but I'm not sad about it. Thanks. Well, Anthony, hopefully you are taking something good away from the content. I appreciate you for the $25 donation. That is incredibly kind. As well as Joshua, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. And Wesley with the 1. You are phenomenal. As well as I would like to quickly thank Erica for the $25 donation over on Venmo. Let's show some love to Erica down below in that chat. Erica says, just left a disappeared rally. I was interviewed and asked about the news/consumption fact checking. I referenced you in regards to helping me learn how to discern information and come out to an educated opinion on current events. Thank you for teaching us how to navigate the bullshit. Erica, you're in here every single day. I love you, and I'm happy that you've been able to take something away from the content. It's awesome. That's what I want. I want to inspire people to critically think and be more aware about what's true and what's not true. So that's awesome. I really appreciate your kind message there. Show some love to Anthony and Erica down below in that chat where we're loading the next guest up. We got AJ Firebird loading in. Hello, AJ Firebird. How are we doing?
How's it going?
Man, you gotta fix your mic. Disconnect Bluetooth. Fucking.
Sorry. Is that better?
Completely. That is a little bit better. Now, could you disconnect Bluetooth?
Nope.
Why not? Why can't you disconnect Bluetooth?
I got it.
Oh, are you driving?
I just wanted to say yes. Trump supporter, 45, born in 79.
Parker and Dean, you do great. I love watching your videos.
Okay.
No argument here. I really like watching you guys.
Well, I mean, that's awesome that you like watching the content. I'm going to go and drop you just because I think that you may be driving. That's very kind of you, Ben, but hopefully we can make you stop being a Trump supporter, right? That's a goal.
That would be great.
We're going to move on to the next guest, everybody. If you are watching and you'd like to come up and debate me and Parker on why you support Trump, let me let me know down below in that chat. We'll get you pulled up here. Let's go to get that next guest loaded in right now.
Okay, so,
Fetus.
All right, yeah, that is a actual child, guys. That is an actual child. Also, everybody, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 2 million likes, everybody. Let's try to get up to 2 million likes.
This guy was really mad in the comment section.
I wasn't mad.
What
I'm
do you
sitting
mean?
here eating it, bro. That doesn't make me mad. I'm just saying people are wasting money on you. That's about it.
Oh shit! Well, I mean, I have a
No, I do
question.
have a question though.
No. I have a question because that's good timing. So Kyle just donated me $50.
That's not a question.
over on PayPal.
statement.
So no, it's a statement followed by a question. Holy fuck, Kyle! Thank you so much. Kyle says next time a Trump supporter takes the immigration defense, please ask them what border they're talking about specifically. I'll do that. Thank you for the love, Kyle. Let's get 500 Kyle W's down below in the comment section for the $50 donation. My question to you would be: do you think that Kyle just wasted his money?
Yes.
Why?
I mean, what do you guys do with it?
I spend
It depends. It depends.
I
If you do something good with it.
I spend it on rent. I spend it on my electricity. I spend it on dinner. I spent it on a guitar the other day.
See, the guitar was kind of wasteful, yeah.
Oh no! I love my guitar. I spend it on anxiety pins. I spend it on
My patience pen. Patience pen.
Right.
Real big expense.
And then also Susan, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Susan says it's my weekly appreciation. You're the best. Thank you. You are the best, Susan. Show some love to Susan down below in that chat, as well as to Lizmar for the $15, saying thank you, Dean, for being on the right side of history and education. I appreciate that. Lizmar, Susan, and Kyle, you guys are awesome.
Dean, I do have a question for you though.
Yeah, well, I just had to thank Susan and
Just
Lizmar
make it
for
clear though. I am a
their
Trump
wasteful-
supporter.
for their wasteful
But-
donations.
Hell yeah.
And also, Caitlin and Tree, thank you both for the $10 in your wasteful donations over on YouTube Super Chat and Venmo. Very kind.
Maudie, think of the $4.20 for the patience pen. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, those are needed. I'll say that. Anxiety pens are needed. I won't say that's wasteful.
Yeah, no, I spend all my money on the patience pen.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I did want to ask, who tucks who in?
Well, I guess
Bro,
it
diabolical.
would depend on the day of the week. It depend on the day of the week. No, I'm just kidding.
When you guys
I
like
don't
stay
know.
the night with each
Why-
other, like who's tucking who in?
Why? Do you need more content for your fanfic?
No, I'm just asking. I was curious.
I really think that you just got caught red-handed. What is it? Do you work in it like every Saturday and Friday night at 3 a.m.?
No, I'm blue collar. I just got off work.
I know that's why you're working it at 3 a.m. Keep it away from work and like the wife and kids if you have any. I don't know. Why do so many weird Republican men obsess over like me, Parker, who tucking who? Like, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, why do you guys think about that so much?
I mean, if you guys can't take a joke, I'm just asking who tucks who in.
No, dude. I'm just asking you. Like, why do you think about that so much?
I mean, you guys are 20-year-old men that spend the night with each other.
We're 20-year-old. I live like 2,000 miles away from Parker. I don't.
Yeah, I live in
I know
California.
you guys have stayed in the same room, and I wouldn't doubt it was not different beds.
Oh, okay. I get it. Gay sex. Nobody thinks about gay sex more than conservative men.
Wait, I have a question.
Booyah!
Hey, you know what? I never said-
Matt, I have a
look,
question.
look,
I have a
look.
question. Even if you're supposed not to be true, have you ever slept in like the same bed as one of your guy friends?
Bro, if you don't tuck the homies in, you're wrong.
Okay, so like, bro, like I'm confused. Like, you obviously understand that that's something that happens, like just like friends, and that's not even
Yeah,
like
look,
a.
it was a joke. I was seeing if you guys would like, as the left party, I was seeing if you guys had a sense of humor in that mindset.
What? We don't make fun of people for being gay. That's fucked
That's
up.
not
I'm just-
making
it's just-
fun of
no,
them. I'm
dude,
saying-
listen.
I'm saying
It's just
you
weird.
tuck the
It's just,
homies in.
it's just weird. Hey, Dean and Parker. Hey, I wouldn't doubt it if you guys have slept in the same bed. Hey, Dean and Parker. I just know
I mean,
you've done it.
if you don't tuck the homies in, bro, it's
hey, Dean and Parker. Like, it's just weird. Holy fuck.
It's not weird, bro. If you don't tuck the homies in,
Susan,
that's
thank you for the
pathetic.
$50 for the weekly dues. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Give me some W's for Susan in the comment section right now. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, you guys are going crazy. Let's hear, yo, real quick. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, he didn't, Susan. Susan, the guy never paid us $2,000 each.
I know he never did. What a waste. Unfortunate. Emmanuel, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo for wasting your money. Show some love to Emmanuel down below in that chat, as well as Ray with the $10 over on Venmo. My daily quote unquote waste of money for you, Dean. Have a good evening. I hope you have a good evening as well. Show some love.
Dean, was it at least a good
to Ray and
good
Emmanuel.
guitar?
And then also Madison, thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal, wasting that money. Show some love to Madison down below in the chat. And Christian with the $50 donation over on PayPal. Let's get 500 Christian W's down below. Christian says, you spend the money on dinners? Outrageous.
W, Christian.
Thank you for the love, Christian. Oh my God, look at all these
good
people
dinner or
spending their
what?
money.
Sebastian, thank you for the $1. Thank you so much for the blinker checkpoint.
And then also Abigail, the $10 over in PayPal for wasting even more money. LFG.
Are you eating good?
Am I eating good? I try to eat healthy. I fail, but I try.
I mean, I never said eating good's healthy. I didn't say healthy.
Okay. Do you want to debate? This is getting weird.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So no more comments about my income or about gay sex. Is that fair?
I never said anything. What makes you think because tucking the homies in?
That was a
means
very.
that.
I'm sorry. I have more than 5 brain cells. I could read a very
What does that
obvious
mean?
implication.
I didn't say do you kiss the homies goodnight. I said do you tuck the homies in.
It was a very obvious implication. Now move on. Tell us why you support Trump.
Well, I don't agree with how the borders were not being kept up with very well. I do want to say, so I don't sound stupid, I'm not really good in politics, but the reasons I support him is one, that. Two, I didn't agree with, I know you guys can't talk on the topic, but biological men being in women's sports. Let's see.
Okay, I have a question about that last point. Do you disagree with that? Trans women aren't men, by the way, but you call trans women men. Do you disagree with the idea of like men going into women's spaces because it's a massive infringement on women's rights?
I mean, like, if a woman is in there and says that she doesn't want you in there, I feel like that should be respected. I think, see,
what if a man disrespects that?
I mean, I don't even think there's any laws saying it can't happen.
Like,
But
okay,
what I'm
well, like
saying-
imagine like some creepy old dude walked into like a teenager's dressing room. Like, how would that make you feel?
Oh yeah, you're gonna say Trump did it. Da, da, da. I watch your live all the time, so all your talking points I already know. I'm gonna say this: I think every public place should have a family restroom. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, okay, well, so then what's your response there? Isn't it kind of hypocritical to say I'm gonna like introduce fascism into this country because of 12 trans women in the NCAA, but then when you figure out that one cis man has openly boasted about perving on naked underage teenage girls in Miss Teen USA, you're just totally fine with it?
I didn't say I was fine with it. That didn't come out my mouth.
Well, it's an implication given that you support him.
No, you think supporting someone means you agree with everything they've done.
Well, I think that supporting somebody means that you're okay with every bad thing they've done. Absolutely.
No. Kamala.
Kamala.
I'll correct it for you.
So then tell me,
She's
how do you feel about Donald Trump openly boasting about perving on underage naked teenage girls?
I don't think it's right.
Okay. You don't think it's right. Is it wrong?
Yes.
How wrong is it?
I mean, it's pretty wrong. I have a daughter, so obviously
Is
I'm
it
gonna...
so wrong insofar as that you wouldn't vote for him?
See, the thing is I didn't vote on his personal life. I voted on his standpoints.
Oh, okay, so if his personal life included child rape, you still would have voted on his standpoints and made him president. Why?
No, not that.
Oh, okay. So then you do hold red lines against an individual's personal life. Why isn't openly boasting about perving on naked underage girls when you have a daughter yourself that one of those red lines?
Because I feel like the last administration wasn't doing so greatly, and you can say they did some. I will say there are some things that they
Oh,
did,
you're just
yes.
saying that Kamala Harris was such a terrible candidate that it justified voting for the perv.
I mean, like I just said, I liked his points of what he was going to do. I didn't like
Okay. So again, how would that change specifically if the victim were like a child, comparative to the victim being adult? Because I mean, his policy is going to be the same regardless.
I didn't say it's any different. You said teens. That's a child. I said I don't like that.
Wait, okay, so yeah, so then obviously you wouldn't support him if the victim were a child, but if the victim were an adult, you still would?
I never said that either.
Oh, you're talking about child rape. Or you just say,
Yeah.
excuse me, that you wouldn't support Donald Trump if he was a child rapist. What if he was an adult rapist?
If it was in civil court and I believed,
How about we ask him this question? This question we'll get him there. If Donald Trump was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child, would you still vote for him over Kamala Harris?
I'll be right back, everybody. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
I feel like
BRB.
children lie a lot less than grown women. I'm not saying I completely.
Okay,
think
if it is the case, well, okay, so regardless of that's a fucking crazy thing to say, but if regardless of that, right, if it were the same probability of being true as the E. Jean Carroll case in terms of standard of evidence, would you? Sorry, would you, in the scenario in which the victim is a child, then what's it called? If the victim were a child, then would you say you wouldn't support him, given the same standard of evidence provided in the E. Jean Carroll case?
I mean, probably not. But what I'm saying is, I don't believe the E. Jean Carroll case.
You don't believe okay, so then you would vote for Donald Trump even though he was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child if the standard of evidence were the same provided in the E. Jean Carroll case.
Because I think a child is less likely to lie about that. You do
No,
realize.
I guess that there's the same standard of evidence.
Well, what I'm saying is,
So you can't dispute based upon the probability of it being true because they have the same probability based upon the standard of evidence.
I want to make this clear and make sure you know what reality is. You do know it does happen. There are people that lie about these things, and men.
I understand it. I'm giving you a hypothetical scenario where the same probability of it being true in terms of the victim being a child as the E. Jean Carroll case, right? And you're saying that like what would be a good reason to dispute? Because in this scenario, it's the same probability.
If you're saying, okay, look, if you're saying, this is what I don't get. You guys always bring up the children thing. Now, if you're saying you understand that there are women that do lie out there and it does ruin men's lives, there's many cases. I mean, why would you say that, okay, if it's a child, it's any different? Like, why even put that out there if you do know that it does happen? Like, it's my ability that if I want to believe it or not, and then because I don't believe it and I know that.
So I just like to clarify. Like, this is bad logic. Can we also agree that sometimes like women do like truthfully accuse men of like rape and then the
yes,
men
I
deny
believe it
it?
happens, and I believe some people.
All right.
lie,
Well,
right?
then all of a sudden, because women also truthfully accuse men of rape, I could just believe it without any further information on top of that. Let me ask you a question. Would we agree that if E. Jean Carroll was lying and the jury ruled that she was telling the truth and that Donald Trump's guilty, this would basically amount to the conclusion that the jury ruled Trump's guilt without enough evidence?
I'm saying I don't believe. That's like all I'm saying.
I know, but what that would amount to is the conclusion that the jury ruled Trump's guilt without enough evidence of his guilt because you don't believe her, meaning you think he was innocent. And obviously, if he was innocent,
I mean, yes,
there
people
wouldn't
have
be
their
enough
own
evidence of his
opinions.
guilt. So would that be like the claim that your claim would ultimately amount to? Would that be the conclusion here? Is that you believe that the jury ruled Trump's guilt without enough evidence?
I mean, do you think civil court is always correct?
Can you answer my question? Because once again, if you're just saying that it was wrong, this would mean that you believe that the jury. So is yes or no? Do you believe that ultimately the jury ruled his guilt without enough evidence of his guilt? Rather, your reason is that civil courts aren't always right. E. Jean Carroll was a liar. Whatever the reason is, ultimately, that's going to amount to the idea that the jury ruled his guilt without enough evidence of his guilt, right?
In a way, I mean, I do find it weird that he wouldn't give up his DNA.
Answer, dude. Why are you... dude, stop squirming and answer.
I did. I said in a way.
In a way? That's not clear. I want a yes or I want to no.
In my opinion, yes.
Oh, great. That's all that I needed. So in other words, you're basically telling us that you think Trump is innocent and E. Jean Carroll was a liar because you believe that the jury ruled his guilt without enough evidence of his guilt. Here's a fucking zinger. Name one piece of evidence they ruled on.
The dress.
The dress was actually not submitted to the court as a piece of evidence because Donald Trump refused to submit his DNA as a piece of evidence as well, meaning it was rejected as a piece of evidence, documented and submitted during discovery. Okay, damn, you have been watching it live. So why do you believe that they didn't possess enough evidence?
The reason I don't always trust in civil court. That's my issue.
Okay, well, your logic here once again fails again because do you always trust criminal courts?
I mean, what?
No. Because we can agree that criminal courts are
with-
sometimes
with
wrong. So
substantial
does this mean that if he
evidence,
was? Does this mean that if he was criminally convicted of rape, you wouldn't believe that either?
I would.
Oh, but why? Criminal courts don't always
Do you
get it
believe the
right.
felonies?
Criminal, like majority, like 99% of the
Do you
time.
believe
has-
the felonies? Dean's lagging out like crazy.
Yeah, he is. He needs to up his specs on his.
Do you
PC.
believe the felonies?
Yes, I do believe that.
Okay.
Lag gone.
So but like that's why I asked you the question
Criminal-
specifically.
criminal
of-
has more
I asked
substantial
you specifically the question of Donald Trump being held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child, given the same standard of evidence provided in the E. Jean Carroll case, and you said that you wouldn't support him in that scenario. So what's the relevant difference between that scenario and the scenario that exists in reality, insofar as that you'd support him right in this in reality, but not in this particular scenario?
I told you because I feel like children don't lie in that
Again,
sense.
the same standard of evidence.
Because it's her
Same
word
likelihood of
saying
being
that
true.
he did it just because a therapist notes. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think a child has
Here,
the.
let me clarify the same probability of being true.
Are you like trying to make me look bad? Is that what you're doing right now?
No, I'm saying that the
Listen,
hypothetical.
You know my answer if you say it's the same exact case and the same exact evidence and nothing is different. The child is not.
Are you willing to accept that conclusion?
And then also, it's like we have so much other evidence outside of the civil court as well. We'll get to that, but answer Parker's question.
The thing is if it's the same exact case, if I don't agree with one, why would I say I agree with the other? If it's the same exact
then answer the
thing,
so then answer the question.
would it be a no? Or
So
yes?
so would you
I'm
still
saying-
support him if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child, right? Given the same probability of it being true as the Eugene Carroll case.
In my belief, if it was false, yes. But if there's some substantial evidence or the child is saying
No. I said given the same standard of evidence given in the Eugene Carroll case, he's
That's
held
the
civilly
evidence.
liable of sexually abusing a
So-
child unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people. In that certain scenario, would you then say that Donald Trump, you'd still support him?
part
over
of the
Kamala Harris?
evidence. Part of the evidence is saying that she said it.
Hold
That's
up.
why I'm saying no. I wouldn't because a child is less.
Yeah,
likely.
but I'm
I
giving
don't
a
know if-
hypothetical, say, of a child that had the same probability of lying, right, as you would associate with Eugene Carroll.
If you know that if the child's gonna lie, then it's no different. I'm saying
No,
children don't lie.
wait. Okay, so then you would say that, given that that's true, you would say that you would still support Donald Trump.
If you're saying the child has a probability of lying like women do,
like how you associate women to have.
What is?
I'm not
wait,
saying
what
all
is-
women
because
lie, I'm saying it
you want to know
happens.
something crazy? The likelihood of a false accusal, specifically when it comes to
Wait, don't tell him. Don't
even
tell
ju-
him. Don't tell him, because he has to know that. His burden is to know that, and that's actually what I was just going to ask him.
It's low.
What is
but
the
I'm not saying-
likelihood
I've
of a
never
false
said it's
accusal?
high. It's a low number. I
What
know
is
that.
the number?
I know the percentage. but
If
I
you don't know
it's-
the percentage, then how do you know it's unreliable?
because it happens.
Oh,
The
it
thing
happens?
is,
Wait.
it happens.
Plane crashes happen. Is plane travel unreliable?
To most people or some people, yes.
Wait, would you say it's
To
completely?
you!
Would you say it's
To you!
to you?
People,
To you?
this is what I'm saying.
Is it unreliable? Have you ever been on a plane before, or have you never
Yes.
gone? Oh, so you think that travel by plane is reliable, even though some plane crashes happen?
Not exactly. I was in the service, and they kind of make you fly. So
Oh, have you ever flown in accordance with your will outside of being forced to? Flown in accordance with your will
I
outside
mean,
of
if
being
I
forced?
have the decision, I don't like planes. That's my point of view. I just
Oh,
don't.
have you
always-
ever traveled in a
that's-
car outside of in accordance with your own decision?
Yes, but that's me controlling it. I
Oh,
can
wait.
control what others do. But at least I'm driving.
Sorry, I know I just got lagged there, but we're back now. Do car crashes happen?
Yes,
Oh, so therefore travel by car is unreliable.
but at least I have a chance of doing right by me being behind the wheel.
Okay, that
I'm not
doesn't
the
change the
driver.
probability of a car crash.
Yes, because you're saying a plane being flown by someone else that has nothing to do with me. I'm driving the.
It doesn't matter. The probability is still lower.
There's a probability of his
What's
phone
the
blowing up in his
probability
hand.
of
Wait,
this
hold on. There's a probability right now of your phone blowing up in your hand right now. But yeah, you're on the call having a conversation with us. Okay.
What's
So
the
is it
probability-
unreliable because it can happen? It can happen that the phone blows up in your hand. You know what I mean?
What's
like,
the
dude, you're
probability
ridiculous.
of surviving a crane?
Now you're talking about
Oh, now you're
probabilities.
talking about
Oh.
probability. So we'd have to know the probability in order to make it a justified claim about its reliability. So once again, you cannot make a justified claim about its reliability or lack thereof on behalf of E. Jean Carroll, not just accusing Donald Trump, but convincing an Ministry of 9 that he was fucking guilty. And you don't know the probability. You're just a misogynistic little POS that wants to
saying
go on
I
live and
don't
say,
believe-
nah, 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 I love Trump. Whatever he does, whatever he says, it must be true. That's what you do, bro.
I said I don't agree with everything he does. I made that clear.
So then once
Okay,
again,
well
what is the
then
likelihood?
we
And if
just
you're,
showed you
if you're trying to
irrefutable.
cook, I don't know if you're trying to cook, but if you think you are, good job.
Well, we did. It's on a debate live.
No,
Are
you
you?
didn't.
I don't know if you're trying to win the debate, dude. Like,
You use the
that's
probability of a
ridiculous.
car and a plane. What's the probability of surviving a plane crash?
Ah, so now we have to go back to the probability of things. So what's the probability?
one, I'm
what's the
driving the
probability
car.
of a
For
woman
two-
falsely accusing a man then still being able to hold him liable in a court of law?
I don't know. I just said it
Oh,
happened.
okay. So
The
once
point that
again,
it
so then your
happens.
argument is the
It could
point
be
that it happens.
0.1%.
Right, your
but it
your
happens.
argument is the point that it happens. Okay, well my point is that plane crashes, car crashes also happen, meaning that you would find Eugene Carroll's testimony and her
using
ability to
two
convince the
completely
jury that
different
is the
scenarios
case
to try to
that
prove
it
your
is.
point.
Wait, we're talking.
Your hypotheticals suck.
Oh, so you only care about a low probability of a jury getting it wrong in a court, but you don't care about a low probability of a car crash occurring. Why?
They're two different fucking things.
What's the difference insofar as the probability of a negative outcome?
a car wrecking an SA? What's the difference? Are you really asking that?
You can't even track the conversation. I'm specifically asking you for the difference between your claim that because it is the case that there's an incredibly low probability of it happening that a jury gets it wrong in a civil court, that this means that civil courts are unreliable. Very similar to saying because it is a case that there is a probability of a car crashing, therefore cars are unreliable. But honestly, I'll make the analogy even more clear to you
Yes,
because obviously,
I'm not gonna-
because obviously you need it. Is there a low probability that a criminal court gets it wrong? Does that happen?
Criminal courts are more substantial.
That's not what I
evidence.
asked.
I mean, there might be a percentage that sometimes, yes, it does. But
Okay.
it's
Do you
not.
remember less than 5 minutes ago saying that it's not the probability that matters, it's the point that it happens? You're
say
caught.
that.
You're fucked. Yes, you did. Shut the hell up. You did. You
not-
said it's
Ooh.
just the point that it happens.
I said your
That is
2
a sentence
points.
that came out of your mouth.
Your 2 points.
No,
are
concede. Concede. Stop pivoting. Stop muddying the waters. You said very clearly that you don't care about the probability. You just care about the fact that it's the point that it happens at all. So it is the case that it does sometimes happen in criminal courts that false jury convictions are made,
does,
meaning
yes.
that under your review, you think that even criminal courts are unreliable.
Define what you mean
about
by
saying
I
that?
said that.
Right. We got.
I'm
Jordan
saying
fucking
the
Peterson
way
otherwise.
that if I see a trial happen, civil or criminal, I'm saying sometimes, depending on what went on, I'm saying sometimes I have a point of view of not to believe them. I have that right to believe or not believe. I'm saying yes, and criminal courts sometimes are wrong.
Okay, so then
I'm saying
therefore
majority
you
of
so
criminal
therefore
courts-
so therefore so a majority of criminal courts get it right, and that's why you believe them.
Substantial evidence.
So then go ahead and give me evidence that a majority of civil courts get it wrong.
What was substantial evidence in the E. Jean
You're
Carroll case?
pivoting. Go ahead and give me
Ask
evidence
the
that a majority of
question
civil courts get it wrong.
I didn't say majority get it wrong. I'm saying majority.
Well,
has
I know that's the implication there, though,
substantial
because you said that the reason that you
evidence.
believe criminal courts is because you think that a majority of them get that right, meaning that if a majority of civil courts got it right, you'd also believe civil courts. So the implication here is because you don't trust civil courts, that means that you think that a majority
No,
of
I
civil
just-
courts get
I
it
don't
wrong.
You're not listening. I said the reason I believe criminal court more than civil court is because of substantial evidence. I'm saying yes.
It's
Sometimes
because
they
there's a
might-
higher level, because there's a higher probability. Okay, so you're saying that there's a higher probability that they get it right.
because of substantial evidence.
Oh,
Are you like
okay,
ignoring
okay.
saying
So
that?
then, what is the probability that civil courts get it wrong?
I said it's a low number. I said I don't know what it is.
Okay, well, you don't know what it
You're-
is. Then
you're
how do you know it's
ignoring the
below your
fact.
threshold of acceptability?
I'm saying civil courts. have
Answer
less-
my question. If you don't know what it is, how do you know that it's below your threshold of acceptability? Here's like the point that I'm trying to demonstrate. I can acknowledge that you're saying it's less likely for a false outcome to occur in a criminal court than a civil court. However, I don't think this necessarily implies that the likelihood of a false outcome in a civil court it falls below your threshold of acceptability. Okay, like we're going to take your logic here and we're going to apply it into an analogous scenario to show how it's absurd. Can we agree that it is more likely you'll get in a car crash than a plane crash?
Yes.
Okay, so this would imply, in accordance with your fallacious logic, thereby you don't trust driving cars,
I mean, there's more people driving than there are flying planes.
even per capita.
If it was the same difference, but you have the thing of people drive stupid.
Okay, making it more likely to get into a car crash, meaning that you don't trust cars simply in virtue of the fact that it's more likely
it's not
that,
that I don't
that a
trust
plane is
cars,
more
I don't
reliable
trust
than a car.
people. It's not that I don't trust cars. I don't trust people.
Okay, so you do trust cars, even though it's less likely that you'll get in a
Yes,
plane
because
crash.
you-
than a
So
car
why do you
crash.
trust Trump? So why do you trust Trump?
Wait, no. I don't want to
Who
change because I
wrecks
want
the
you to specifically acknowledge my logic. I'm going to give you my argument, and then I want you to repeat after me. My argument is as follows. I believe that you're making an incredibly fallacious position by arguing that although you don't know the probability of a wrong outcome of a civil court or the probability of a wrong outcome from a criminal court, out of virtue of the fact that a criminal court is more likely to get it right, you simply don't trust civil courts. So the reason that I believe this logic is fallacious is because we could say that we don't know the probability of a lethal car crash occurring, but as long as we do know that it is higher than that of a lethal plane crash occurring per capita, in virtue of this logic, you'd be forced into saying that you don't trust cars. But obviously you do trust cars. You do think when you get into your car, there's an acceptable threshold of reliability, even though planes are more reliable. So the obvious implication would be is that you'd have the burden to demonstrate that although civil courts are more likely to get it wrong than criminal courts, they don't meet an acceptable threshold of acceptability. And the way that you demonstrate that they don't meet this acceptable threshold of acceptability is by telling us, right, what the probability is of a civil court getting it wrong, and then telling us what your acceptable threshold of probability would be.
I think any probability. I don't think all civil courts get it wrong.
Okay, so your
I'm
claim
not
is that
saying
any
that.
probability that they get it wrong makes it an unreliable standard of truth.
I don't think civil court's completely unreliable. No. I'm saying I just don't believe in that.
Okay, so then tell us what your acceptable threshold of probability would be for believing the outcome of a court case, and then tell us what the probability is that the civil court got it wrong in relation to E. Jean Carroll making the claim and proving it that Donald Trump had raped her.
For one, evidence. For two, it was in New York, and I don't care if you say.
I'm literally asking you what is the probability that it was wrong.
I told you I don't care how low the number is. I'm saying it happens.
Okay, so you don't
It
care.
doesn't matter how low the number is. It happens.
Okay, as long as it happens, it's unreliable. Therefore, criminal courts are
You said it's not
unreliable
completely
because criminal courts get it
unreliable.
wrong.
No, if you would listen, I
You
said it's not
idiot!
completely
Dude,
unreliable.
you're gonna make me crash out. I can't keep going back and forth with a toddler that won't even hold to his own word. You just said that you don't care about the probability of this outcome occurring. As long as it occurs sometimes, then it makes the court unreliable. Okay, so therefore, because it occurs sometimes that criminal courts get it wrong, criminal courts are unreliable. And then as soon as I stop talking and I allow you to respond, you're gonna say, oh no, Dean, you don't understand me. That's not what I said. That's not what I said, even though that's exactly what you said.
No, you're good at putting words in people's mouths.
Those are the words that came out of your mouth.
I just said.
Those are no. We have a YouTube stream. We have a YouTube stream. We're gonna run it back. I gotta turn off the Spotify first. I gotta turn off the Spotify.
Show me where I
first.
said
Good.
it's
All right,
Willful,
we're gonna-
thank you so much for the
we're-
$20. Thank you, Willful.
We're gonna go ahead and run it back here. Shut the hell up.
Thank you, Willful.
We're gonna go ahead and turn off the. Can't keep going back and forth.
I said what the number is. I'm saying. Remember, completely
Going back on the
unreliable.
crash out.
How about you shut the fuck up so I could roll the clip? You peanut brain POS.
I don't care how low the number is. I'm saying it happens.
Okay, so you. There you go. I was able to catch you in 4K and roll back the clip.
See, you're still putting words in my mouth. I never said it's completely unreliable.
You're saying it's unreliable enough to assume that it's false.
In some cases, I'm not saying all. I'm saying I don't believe.
So then why do you specifically not believe this case as it relates to E. Jean Carroll?
I was answering that, and then you interrupted.
Okay, so what's the answer?
I didn't. The evidence. I don't think that's substantial.
Okay, why?
I don't think New York City.
Wait. We're gonna go point by point. Why don't you think that the evidence was sufficient?
I just don't think it was.
Okay, give me reason to believe that. You can't just say it's not because it's not. That's like me saying it was because
My
it
point of
was.
view, I don't think it was substantial evidence.
Okay, are you going to give any reason
You
for
can
that?
disagree with me.
Okay, so you're basically saying that you don't believe it because you don't believe it. That's a circular position with no external justification to demonstrate
have my
how what you
beliefs.
believe in is truth. You're just simply saying that "Meh, I get to build reality off of my beliefs, and I don't have to have any reason for my beliefs.
Watch
You're
me
just like
crash out
you're just
without hearing the
actively
audio is so
engaging.
much funnier.
You're just like
Can you
actively.
please like up your specs?
You're just actively engaged. Oh, and now we're lagging.
We can't hear you.
Dude, we can't hear you at all right now, bro.
You need. Dean,
Now
can,
he's just grinning. He's just grinning, bro.
can I ask what PC you have?
Yeah, wait, what's going on? Yeah, Dean, like, what, actually, seriously, like, what happened to your PC, bro? Did you, like, drop water on it, bro?
No, it's just it needs to be replaced. It needs to be
What-
replaced. It really needs to be replaced.
How old is your graphics card?
It's a 1080 Ti from like 2018.
That's what I
Oh,
have.
jeez, oh, jeez.
Well, you're probably not like dual.
Oh, no, I
streaming
have a
off your-
1070. My bad. I have a
You're
1070.
probably not dual streaming off of your computer. to
I do. I have
TikTok
3
and YouTube.
monitors. I do all the time.
You dual stream to TikTok and YouTube?
TikTok and Twitch. Maybe it's YouTube. I don't know, but I do TikTok and Twitch.
Okay, I'm done trying to convince a toddler that they're wrong. At the end of the day, here's what I'm going to leave you with.
At the end of the day, you put words in my mouth. Yes.
Totally
Unironically,
rage. He's
What is
totally
this?
rage baiting at this point.
okay,
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
You
here's-
said I said it's completely unreliable. I never said that.
here's the end of the day takeaway. The end of the day takeaway is that your position essentially just reduced back down to you believing it because you believe it. Okay, first point. If you just believe things because you believe them and you think that you have a right to believe in whatever you want, why did you join a debate live?
I do have like this other point. The other point, the fucking immigration. I really.
No, answer my question. If you just believe in things with no external reason, but simply because you want to believe in them, and you think that you have a right to do so, why did you join a debate live?
I mean, you can disagree with me, but the other thing, the immigration thing, I have
Fuck off. Answer my question.
because I didn't really. That wasn't the debate that I really wanted. I wanted to debate you about the immigration.
Okay.
Because
So
I have
wait,
a
so
really
do you,
good point on it that
wait,
you guys
wait.
deny.
Why don't you just believe in Trump's immigration policy because you believe in Trump's immigration policy? If that's a sufficient standard to recognize and understand truth and knowledge.
No, because you guys constantly say that even immigrants, you say that they.
I'm not even gonna let you make your claim because you're just pivoting. Like, oh my god, we're gonna move on to the next guest, y'all. Oh my lordy lord. Veteran, thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on that YouTube stream. Let's get 500 veteran W's down below. Veteran says, as ignorant or denialist as they may be, you should show up every day to hold them to account for their lies. Fighting to protect your generation earns this boomer's respect. Veteran, we love you here so much, guys. Show some love to Veteran down below in that comment section while we're loading that next guest up into the box right now. I would also like to thank Hannah with the $5 over on Venmo. That is incredibly kind of you. As well as Joshua, thank you so much for the $35 over on PayPal. And then Kelly with the $20 on PayPal. And Chloe with a 10. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. And Chloe, you're right. He absolutely does just hate women. Let's get 100 Chloe W's. Let's get 400 Joshua W's and 200 Kelly W's. Kelly spelled Kellie. Okay, what is going on, Dav? Do you support Trump?
Dean and Parker, 2 losers, bro.
Okay, my crystal ball says that after you're done talking, you're just going to leave and run away like a little beta male. And my crystal ball
you're
was
running
right
away.
as always. The crystal ball never gets it wrong, everybody. I have the ability to just simply read these people to dirt, and then they always do exactly what I say that they're going to do every single time. Would you look at that? Would you look at that, everybody? Would you look at that? Moving on to the next
That he
guest.
runs away. All right, I'll try to help you up.
Thank you.
I gotta-
I'm actually going to start
my
looking at
phone.
new computers right now. Oh, fuck.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yep. You should. You should.
All right.
I think
everybody.
you'll like the update because I mean, there's been a lot of upgrades since then.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's
there's,
technically 7 fucking years ago. If you think about it,
Isn't
isn't that crazy?
dude, I've really been pushing this PC to its last leg. Like, it's time to replace it. Benjamin, thank you for the Galaxy. I appreciate that. Melissa's driving. Okay, what about this? If you are one of the 10.4 thousand people watching the live stream and you want to come up here and debate with me and Parker, go and drop a MAGA attached to your, let's see here. Holy fuck.
What?
The hell?
What?
Oh, we gotta get this. Oh my god, please kick him.
Oh, it's not. Here, I got you.
I just got my water bill in. What the fuck? Uh-oh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, good, they're gone. My water bill?
Was it nuts?
Yeah. What the fuck? Why am I paying $110 for water? What the hell? Dude, I gotta
In a month? Dude, that's
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
What is this? What is this shit? What is this? I'm getting scammed. I gotta see the breakdown of this. Oh, I'm pissed. All right. Y'all, help us get that next guest up in here, y'all. Help us get that. Everybody, if you want to come up and debate, make sure to let me know down below in that chat. What the hell? Wild, crazy work. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Someone said that you got a leak. That's a few people.
Maybe.
Yo, what's up, Vivian? How old are you? All right, let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump. We are just looking for some debates. Please, everybody, only send a guest request if you do support Donald Trump.
Wait, I thought that it's coming from the city. I thought that I paid somebody else for water. Why am I getting hit with a water bill from... Oh.
Hey, fuck you
Alright.
both. Fucking faggots. I fucking hate y'all so much, bro.
You're horrible. Are you looking at the right thing?
Yeah, bro, I don't know what's going on. Jesus Christ, I should figure that out later. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Give us a minute to get that next guest up in the box, y'all.
Yeah, it could be a scam. So I would be...
Let me see where it's coming from. No, it's coming from an official city website. I don't know. I'll have to call them like tomorrow before I go live or something. I don't know. Oh, we'll see. What is going on, Velo and Chuckster? Do you guys support Trump?
I support Trump.
Okay, what time?
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to come up.
Oh, no worries. Oh, okay, they're both gone. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Give us a minute to get that next guest loaded into the box. All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Just give us a minute to get the next guest loaded up into the box.
Bro, Zeta mogs you.
That is a young child. You shouldn't even know who Zeta is. Not gonna lie. Yo, Pia, dude, thank you for the $17 over on PayPal saying, great job, just found your TikTok, keep going. Need more people like you. I appreciate that, Pia. That is PIA. Thank you so much for the $17. And then Anna, thank you so much for the $55 over on PayPal.
Nope, you cut out again.
Over on PayPal. Thank you, Anna, for the $55. That is so kind of you guys. Let's get 600 Anna W's down below in the chat for the $55 donation. That is so incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Anna down below. What is going on, King? Do you support Trump? Okay, nobody's here to debate. Guys, I'm dying over here. Keep in mind, everybody, that we are just looking for some debates. Everybody. I don't know what's going on. I would really appreciate it if you guys could only hop in that queue if you support Trump and you're ready and willing to come up here and have a debate. What is going on, Andrew? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir, I do. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How old are you?
I'm 20, sir.
You're 20. What year are you born in?
2004.
2004. Where are you from?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. All right. Well, take it away, Andrew. Tell us why you support Trump.
Yeah, so why do you support Trump?
I'm really on the fence about it. I just wanted to debate a couple topics with you guys.
Okay, like if you could go back in time, would you still have voted for Trump?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, honestly, I think that a significantly better place for you to be is watching the live. And I feel like that's maybe where you could extract more value compared to being on it. So we are going to go ahead and move on to the next guest right now, everybody. Let's see here. I think I'm going to do... Like, did you go to a Micro Center to get your PC?
I can't remember. I think so.
Bro, what do you mean you can't remember?
Dude.
Bro, that patience spin is hitting you hard.
Dude, yeah, it's kind of...
That's crazy.
You might need to ask me. You might need to ask me later, bro.
Fuck me.
Coming on a little bit too strong there, buddy. What's going on, Ball Knowledge? Do you support Trump?
It's going a little bit wild.
Oh yeah, I support Trump.
Okay, how do you?
Yeah, I think I did.
I'm 23.
You're 23. Phenomenal. Why do you support the man, the myth, the failure?
Are you guys grifters?
Yes. I am a grifter.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't wait. Don't tell the
How
chat,
do I
please.
how do I become a grifter?
Well,
we gatekeep, so we're not going to tell you.
yeah, we're not going to tell you. We gatekeep.
Oh. So do you guys go to Hollywood parties?
Yep, all the time. So why do you support Trump?
Do you guys know what a funky nut blast is?
No,
Dude,
and I
what is
don't want to know
this?
either. Goodbye.
Please
So goodbye.
stop. Get out. What is this?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Jesus, everybody. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone, do just kind of give us a minute here to get that next guest loaded up in the box. What's going on, Alan? Do you support Trump? I think I heard like a very low voice in the background saying that they accidentally requested. So we're gonna move on to the next guest. Dude, what is going on today, guys? What is going on?
That's a bet. We're in here.
Hey, what's going on? Can you turn off any like background noise that you have playing there? I hear like another phone or something.
Yeah, we don't. We just have 2 people.
Yeah, 21.
I have a question.
Can you turn off the 21?
Oh.
What is going on?
I'm 4 years old.
Okay.
Okay, I'm 21, right?
Okay. All right. Do you support Trump?
2004. I just turned 21. I do support Trump.
Okay. Well,
Why do you?
let's have a conversation about. Let's have a conversation about why you support Trump or why I don't. That's fine. But before we do, I do have to thank a couple people. Kira, first and foremost, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo for my return to the stream. Welcome back, Kira. Show some love to Kira down below in that chat. As well as Ashton. Thank you so much for the $5 for the PC. I appreciate you for the love, Ashton, but it is not needed. It is not needed at all. That's very kind of you, though. As well as Wayne, dude, Bruce Wayne is back in the building with the $110 donation over on Venmo. Can we please get at least 1,000 Wayne W's down below in the comment section? Thank you so much for the love, Wayne. We love you here. As well as Christian with the $110 over on PayPal. Dude, oh my God. I want to see a massive round of W Christians.
Cut out. Alexandria, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much from Cash App. Shella, thank you for the $5. And Lovey, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much.
Holy shit.
Okay, you ready?
Sorry, no, I was in the middle of thanking donors when I rudely got interrupted by the fucking lag. So let's get some W Waynes and W Christians down below in the chat. This lag is, I'm just going to make me bang my fucking head into the table. Yeah, both of those $110 donations are going towards a fucking PC right now. I'm not even joking. I'm going to buy it on live. Thank you for the love, both of you guys. Show some love to Wayne and Christian down below in that chat. But take it away, Aaliyah's boyfriend. Why do you support Trump? Or brother, I don't know.
Okay. I have a question. How do you know I support Trump?
Because you told us you did.
When?
When you joined the live?
This is the first question we ask.
I do support Trump.
Right? We know that because you told us that.
Thank you for telling us
Why
again.
why do y'all not support Trump?
Parker,
Have
you
y'all
want to take it away?
I'm curious.
Yeah, I got you. So he was held civilly liable, forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will. He pardoned people who pled guilty and admitted to violently assaulting police officers on January 6th. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He bragged about walking into the changing rooms of girls in Miss USA because he quote-unquote owns the place to inspect them without their consent. There's plenty of reasons why I think he's a horrible dude.
So, if you think that Trump is a horrible dude, correct, right?
Correct, right.
And what are y'all standpoints politically? Are y'all Democrats? Or liberals?
I mean,
Prefer Democrats to Republicans.
Yeah.
Prefer Democrats to Republicans. Okay. You prefer Democrats to Republicans.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever read the Bible? The ESV Bible?
Yes, I have read the Bible.
You have read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Adam and Eve are? Have you ever met them?
I've not met Adam or Eve. I know
You believe
who
in
they
the
are
Bible?
insofar as the story of Genesis.
Do you follow the Bible?
Do I follow the Bible? I am not a
Do you
Christian.
believe in the Bible?
I'm a devout Christian.
Oh, actually, yeah,
You're
no,
devout
I'm not.
Christian?
I am, and I'm also a devout Orthodox Christian. I'm an ortho bro. Come on.
Okay.
So why do you support Trump, buddy? Can we jump to the?
I
can we jump
support
to the
Trump
end?
because he believes in the Bible.
Oh, okay. Fucking phenomenal. No, he doesn't. You know, he said in
Yes,
a
he
2018
does.
C-SPAN interview.
The Republican Party is based off off of Christianity beliefs.
No,
you
no,
know
it's
the
not. No,
one
it's not.
person.
Can,
Like,
can I respond
Wait,
to
wait.
that?
In order
Yes,
to be
it is.
Christian, do you have to ask God for forgiveness?
do you have to ask? No, you believe in Jesus Christ and you're saved through faith.
Okay. Well,
You know what
then
faith is?
So you don't know. Okay. So you don't know your scripture.
I do know my scripture.
Where in the Bible does it say
If
that
you
you're
believe
saved?
Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins, you are saved.
That's
through
not
faith.
true. That's not true. I'm so sorry. That
Yes.
is not true at all. What verse of the Bible says that
Yeah,
you're
because
only
you go
saved
to
through
heaven.
faith alone?
What verse does it say?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Because it doesn't fucking say it. It doesn't
I
say
don't
it.
know.
In fact, the only time being saved through faith alone is mentioned in the totality of the Christian Bible is in James 2:26, where it explicitly says that you're not just saved through faith alone, and you also have to do the good works.
Really? Well, then why don't you read the verse?
For sure. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Read the exact verse in James.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
got
but
it.
like,
Or are you,
I mean,
are you too scared?
Are wait? I have a question. Do you think that you
Oh,
can be a
wait,
Christian?
can I just read
and
this up real
sin-
quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so
You
James
don't know anything about me.
James 2:26, as the body without the spirit is dead, so is faith without deeds is dead.
What Bible?
This is coming from
A lot of
the
different Bibles.
this
There's
is coming from the
ESV.
NIV. That's coming from the NIV.
NIV. That's why. You know who wrote the NIV?
Would you prefer it from some other translation?
Who wrote it?
From ESV Bible.
Scholars. So the NIV is like a scholarship Bible, but
No, I was
read
gonna
the
ask him if he knew.
ESV.
So now New King, now
And also-
now James. Now
No,
let's go. Let's
you
go.
know-
No. Let's go KJV, buddy. We're gonna go KJV.
No,
James
go
2:26.
ESV. Go ESV.
We're gonna go through them all.
ESV is the original.
Hey, calm down, little boy. Okay, let's go through them all.
I'm older than
James,
you.
I'm not calling you little boy because of how many times you've been
20,
around the sun.
21.
You're literally about 3 months older than me, but I'm calling you that for other reasons.
still
But I just want to
older.
read you the verse. So James 2:26 in the KJV, it says, "As for the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also." So it only becomes even more
That's the
clear.
Catholic religion. That's technically Christian, but that's not what I am.
So actually, the King James, I mean Catholic.
I'm not King James either. I'm ESV. I've already told you that 5
Okay,
times.
so you want to go to the ESV? Jesus.
I know you have a
Christ.
headset on. It speaks through you through my phone.
We're going through multiple.
And also, why you put on your screen right here? How do you still support
ESV,
Trump? Have you ever met Trump? Have you ever talked to Trump? No, you have not.
ESV. I'm
You've
going to
never
read you it.
talked to
No,
Trump.
I'm
Why do you not
going to
like
read you it from the ESV. So you accept the
him? Why do you
ESV,
not like
right?
Jesus if you never met Jesus?
So I just want to clarify. You like the ESV,
Or
right?
God, or Adam and Eve.
Dude, what are you doing? Answer my question. You like the ESV, right?
I do like the ESV.
Okay,
That's the
and
Bible.
you,
I read.
and you accept the ESV, and you accept every
Yes.
word in the ESV, correct?
Yes.
James 2:26, pulling from the ESV. As for the body apart from the spirit is dead, as also faith apart from works is dead.
I agree.
You just told us that you could be saved through faith and faith alone. You don't even need to repent.
Yes, you do need to. You have to be saved through faith alone to go to heaven. You have to be saved. Through
It
faith
literally says that it is not that you can't be saved.
Alone. Does
through
it
faith
say
alone.
that you go to heaven?
It
not
says
through
that
faith alone? Where does it say that?
It says that also faith apart from works is dead. So if you just have faith and you don't do the good
Bro,
works, your
bro,
faith is
doesn't
dead.
even understand.
Agreed.
Okay, so
No, I
then,
agree.
so that means that you have to do faith plus works, and that faith
Plus
alone
works.
is not enough.
Yes.
Cooked.
Without faith, you can't do anything either.
But that wasn't the
Am I
claim they
wrong
made.
or am I right?
The claim that you
Okay,
made
okay.
is that faith alone saves you. But now we are demonstrating that faith alone does not save you, and you need faith plus works.
So I
Okay,
have a
so,
question
so,
for
so
y'all
to
to
clarify,
correct
do
me.
you think that you have to repent in order to be Christian?
Yes. No, I don't. I do not. I don't think you have to repent for anything. Because I think every single person since Adam and Eve, when the fall happened in Genesis, Adam and Eve sinned because Adam was made by God, and then God took and realized, man, Adam's alone. He's the only human being on the earth. He needs a companion. So he took from Adam his rib and put it into Eve and made a woman for Adam and Eve. Now Eve then had the Garden of Eden. They were perfectly happy.
Oh my God! Luke
They took it, they ate
13:3.
the apple.
Luke
You're interrupting
13:3
me.
from the ESV. No, I
Okay.
tell you, but unless you repent, you will all likewise perish.
Yeah, I said I believe it. You have to repent.
Okay.
No, you
All right,
just
I'm getting to the
explicitly
point.
said that you don't have to
Are you
repent.
do you want to listen to me? Or
You
not?
explicitly just said that you don't have to repent.
I'm older than you, Dean.
It doesn't
older.
matter.
How
You're
old are you?
contradicting yourself.
I'm older than you, Dean.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
We're gonna
bro.
We're just gonna go to roll you the clip. We're gonna do the cotton 4K shit again.
Yes. No, I don't. I do not. I do not. I don't. So, I have a question
So
about
to
the
clarify,
fact-
do you think that you have to repent in order to be Christian?
Yes. No, I don't. I do not. I do not. I don't think you have to repent for anything. Because I think
I don't think
every
you have to
single
repent for
person
anything, bro.
since Adam and
Like
Eve,
not a
when the
single
fall-
thing. Like you could just sin and like not repent at all, bro. But yeah, like I hold the Christian views,
I
bro.
don't even know what to say. We're gonna do it slow mo.
Yes.
Bro, put it in
I
slow
don't.
mo.
I do.
Don't interrupt it, Barker. Don't interrupt it, Barker. We need to listen.
Yes. No, I don't. I do not. I do not. I don't think you have to repent for anything. Because I think. Are you meeting me? Because what's crazy is this is why I'm Republican. Since you do want to ask why I support Trump, right?
You're a Republican because you hold contradictory beliefs.
Because Republican, so Trump supports the people.
Wait, 1 second. Why are you dating a high schooler?
I have a question for you. She's not in high school anymore. You don't know anything
Says
about
it in
her.
her bio. CCHS.
She's already 18. She's already 18. We can look at her license right now, and I'm already 21.
That's not the point.
So what's the point?
Okay, that's
Is that
just
illegal?
that's is it illegal?
Is it illegal?
Is it illegal?
To what extent is it illegal? Where does it say in the Bible that I can't date someone?
Hey,
that's
where
under-
does it say in the Bible?
What? I have a question, okay, right? You said why? It says, why do you still support Trump? Because Elon Musk has the most money in the entire world, right? Whose power is Trump under right now? Who is he friends with? Elon Musk.
Actually, no. Elon Musk thinks that he should be impeached.
No. Look up who has the most money
It's Elon Musk.
in the world. It's Elon Musk. You know who's friends with Trump?
Not
Elon Musk. You know who you haven't met or Parker hasn't met?
Not Elon Musk. No, Elon Musk.
Okay, I have a question. I just need a yes or no answer. Have either one of y'all met Trump?
No. I've
So why
not
do you
met
not like
Trump.
him?
Because
Parker, have you met Trump? Parker, have you shook hands with Trump?
Hey,
well, then why do y'all both not like him?
Hey, have you met Hitler?
I've not met Hitler.
I'm
also German.
So you like
But
Hitler?
I'm also German.
What? What the fucking relevance?
What
does
are
that
your
have?
thoughts on Hitler?
I think Hitler manslaughtered a lot of people, and it was not.
Do you like Hitler?
Do I like Hitler? No,
But you haven't met him.
I haven't met him. I haven't met either one of y'all. I have no reason
Wow.
not to like y'all. It just says, why do you still support him?
So but you do have reason not to like Hitler, right?
Yes.
Even though you haven't met him.
Actually, no, I don't have reason not to like him. I do like him.
Okay.
To an extent.
Can I?
Because he's
Can
not a
you
human
put your,
being and he's all made-
hey, Aaliyah, how do you feel about your fact that your boyfriend is a Nazi? He just said that he likes Hitler.
That doesn't mean I'm a Nazi just because
Just because you like
asked
Hitler?
me- you asked me, how do
Just
you not
because
know
you
if
like
don't
Hitler
like-
doesn't mean that you're a Nazi, really?
Yeah, just because you like. No, I never said I liked Hitler. I said I don't
you
know.
just
I've
did.
never
You
met
no.
him.
You explicitly
You said
just
you
said that you
don't
like
know?
Hitler. No. You just said that you explicitly like Hitler.
No, you just asked me and said, "Hey, how do you not like someone if you've never?"
Sorry, we're gonna roll back the tape. You just said that you liked it. I don't know why you keep contradicting yourself.
No, I don't. I do not. I don't think you have to repent for anything.
No. Oh, Dead Bark! Wait 1 second. Why are you dating a CHS? We need to talk about
So what's the point? Is it illegal?
Is it saying the Bible?
Because Elon Musk, who is he friends with? Look up who have Elon Musk. You know who you haven't met or have either one of y'all met Trump?
No.
So why do you not like him?
Because
Parker, have you
Wait.
met Trump? Parker, have you shook hands with Trump?
Why do you
not
like
Trump?
What are your thoughts on Hitler?
I think Hitler manslaughtered a lot of people, and it was not.
Do you like Hitler?
Do I like Hitler? No,
But you haven't met him.
I haven't met him. I haven't met either one of y'all. I have no reason
Wow.
not to like y'all. It just says, why do you still support him?
But you do have reason not to like Hitler, right?
Yes.
Even though you haven't met him.
Actually, no. I don't have reason not to like him. I do like him.
So you did indeed say that you like Hitler. Yeah.
But does that make me a Nazi or no?
It does.
Because you said
What?
Nazi just because I like Hitler.
Yeah, I did. Do I need to say it again?
What's a Nazi?
Nazi, somebody that likes Hitler.
Look it up. Show me where it says it. Show me your screen. Because I don't believe that. I believe that you could like Hitler and not be a Nazi. Tell me where it's. Tell me where it's.
Make
written.
it
Tell me where
stop,
it's written.
dude.
Because this is the thing. Tens of thousands of people give y'all money, and why?
Dude.
If Trump's already in office, why do you
God.
care? Why do you care so much? If
Oh
people
my god, my brain. Oh, it's melting in real time.
Wait,
Oh my
wait,
god.
Dean. Why do you care so much?
Okay, let's
Why
give
do
it-
you care so much?
Hey, what-
No,
hey.
answer this question. Why do you care so much that people support Trump if he's already in office and his term's about to be over and you can only serve 2 terms? Why do you care so much? Are you trying to be president? What are you trying to change?
Let's break it down. Before I answer that question, Aaliyah, how do you feel about the fact that your boyfriend likes Hitler?
He's just saying that out of how he's feeling right now. He's
Oh. Oh. Wait, what? Your multi-guest live access has been restricted due to repeated community violations by guests in your live? Oh, Jesus. What the hell? Wait, we don't have it up. Wait. Do we just lose multi-guest access? Oh, brother. Let me see what the ban was for. You have been suspended from going live in accordance with our guidelines. It'll be restored on the 29th. So it's a 3-day ban for guest live access. We'll go ahead and submit that appeal. Guess we need to kick the Yahtzees out next time. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, it looks like that's over, but there is still a way. There's still a way to have debates, and I tell you. There's still a way to have debates, and I tell you. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan. I don't even know if this is going to be a feasible plan. So, yeah, we could do StreamYard or Discord. What do you guys want to do? Because I could still serve you guys live debates. TikTok clock that Yahtzee. Yeah. Honestly, I say that we just kind of wait a minute here to see if the appeal goes through before we start setting up like other pathways to get it done here. So everybody, just hang out with us here for a second while we see if that appeal goes through. I think it honestly should. If it doesn't, then we'll figure something out. But if the appeal does go through and it gets approved, Parker can host. I think that Parker jumped the gun because we have a chance to appeal the ban. So I'm not going to be heading over to Parker's yet because if we have a chance to appeal the ban, which we do, then I'll just stay on here. But if it gets rejected, then we'll go over to Parker's. But let's give it a minute to see if it gets appealed or not. Hey man, honestly, in the meantime, everybody make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. It should take. I'm not live on TikTok. Oh, dude, Parker's not even live. Yeah, we're going to see if that appeal goes through, everybody. All right, let me thank a handful of people for your donations here really, really quickly. Deanna, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Show some love to Deanna down below in that chat. As well as Rose with a 5, Scarlet with a 5, and Destiny with a 5. Deanna says, in honor of Matt2540, also the creation story is fiction, and Adam was genderless and then split into Adam 2, creating male and female in God's image. Yeah, no, I definitely know that it's taken as parabolic for a very, very long time by a lot of people. As well as Giovanna with a $5 over on PayPal. I appreciate you for your comments there. I'm intelligent. That's very kind of you. As well as Alexis with a $1. Thank you so much. Felissa with a $1. And Audrey, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Saying, having the worst day. This is making it slightly better. Thank you for all that you do. Well, I appreciate you so much for the love, Audrey. Yeah, I appreciate you so much for that love. And oh, you guys, guess what? 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 Oh, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We got the live access back. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got that appeal back. It was approved. It was approved. Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Yippee. Okay. All right. It still looks like we might need to restart the stream, though, to get that access back, unfortunately. Let me tell you about the day that I've had, you guys. Let me tell you. Holy fuck. The day has been a rough day, you guys. I got a fucking water bill out the ass. Where the hell was that coming from? New PC is just shitting on itself. PC is just shitting on itself. You gotta go get a new PC. The fucking streams are laggy as hell. I fucking got like 4 hours of sleep last night. These guys have sucked. Oh my lordy lord. You know what, everybody? We have some good days. We have some bad days. All right. That's life. That's life for you. That's life for you. We are gonna go ahead and restart the stream, everyone. So for the 10,000 people in here, everybody, right now, click on my account. I'm gonna restart the live so we could regain access to the multi-guest feature. We'll hop right back into the debates. I will see you all in like 10 seconds. We just have to refrain from the Nazi talk. We're going to be on this account. So everybody just come on right on back. Okay? Make sure to hit that follow button right now too if you haven't already, because the likelihood is that the live won't immediately pop up. But so you'll just follow me now, so then you'll get the notification or see me on like your messaging section of TikTok. But just come on right back. We're going to go and do that right now. BRB in like 10 seconds, y'all. Jesus Christ. Hitting my goddamn anxiety pen. Fuck. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god. Ugh. Disgusting. Disgusting. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back in. Just to clarify, yep, that appeal was approved. Phenomenal. Quite frankly. And we're frozen. Oh, and we're frozen. Wait, it's still saying that I don't have live access. What the helly? What the helly? Bro, the appeal got approved, but it still doesn't say that I have live access. Okay, that's how I feel right now. But anyways, we're going to keep that inside. Okay. So here's what I need to do. I need to do another restart. But this time I also need to restart the TikTok studio on my computer. So for everybody tuning back into the stream, I'll be right back for a second time. Because now I have to restart the totality of TikTok Studio on my computer. Oh my god. Fucking hell. Yeah, BRB, this will take me like 60 seconds. Everyone, come on right on back. I'm so sorry. Okay, and we're going to restart the totality of the TikTok Studio. Shut it down and reopen it. Dean, close your app. Yeah, we'll do that right now. Damn. Oh my god. We're feeling it today, guys. Let me tell you. We're feeling it today. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I love that you could just relax over there on YouTube. There's somebody in the YouTube. Yeah, man, the YouTube definitely makes things a little bit easier. It's a good place to collect. 110%. 110%. Yo, Caitlin! Thank you so much for the $30 donation over on Venmo. Caitlin, that is so incredibly kind. Can we show some love to Caitlin down below in that chat? Caitlin says, "You're amazing, Dean. Me and my cousin are watching the live. Keep debating all the MAGAs." Thank you so much for the love, Caitlin. Show some love to Caitlin down below in that chat. That is seriously incredibly kind of you. Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. Incredibly kind. Incredibly kind. What can I say? Incredibly kind. All right. Are we good to go? Oh my god. Oh, now it's all fuck. Yo, Ivan, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo saying that you're the GOAT. Dude, Ivan, I appreciate that. That is incredibly kind of you. Show some love to Ivan down below in that chat. That is super, super kind. Super kind. Show some love to Ivan. Okay, now, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, my computer is so laggy. My computer is so slow that I can't even like click on the TikTok live studio yet. What the fuck? What the fuck? My computer is going like 5 frames a second. Dude. We might just have to restart the whole PC. I really don't want to, though. Dude, oh my god. Okay, let me check the task manager real quick. Yo, Addy, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, saying it's my birthday today, so everyone's going to feel the love. Thanks for what you do. Yo, happy birthday, Addy. Guys, show some love to Addy down below in that chat. Happy birthday to you. Thank you so much for popping in here. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you for the $10. And show some love to Addy down below in that chat. I'm looking at my task manager to see if there's anything that is drawing like a significant amount of CPU or memory. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, just OBS and TikTok. I shouldn't be getting the lag that I am, but I'm getting it nonetheless. This is terrible. Oh my goodness. What if I just... It won't even let me start the live. It's literally so laggy, it won't even let me start the live. Oh, guys, I'm going to lose it. So I hit the button to go live like about a minute ago. Let's see when it inevitably starts. Are we on? Are we streaming? Yeah, the whole universe just doesn't want me right now. That's so real. Okay. I think that we're back. Okay. We are back. We are back on TikTok. But holy hell, is the lag bad. I don't think I've ever seen lag this bad. Holy crap, everybody. This lag is like terrible. Okay, but we are back at this point. Caught in 4K slow-mo is diabolical. Okay, I know. Okay, all right. Welcome back into the people tuning back in on the TikTok live stream. I appreciate you so much for being here, guys. Make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen and sharing out this live with a handful of friends. All right, everybody, go ahead and hop in that queue. If you support Trump, we will pull you up here and we will have a discussion, y'all. We are live once again on TikTok, though. We did get our guest request feature back. But oh my god, it took us like forever just to even like restart the live because of the lag. Yo, Keely, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you for the first donation of the restart. I appreciate you so much for the kindness. And welcome back in, Barky Boo. Welcome in. How we doing?
Does it have me completely? Can you see me?
Yeah, no, I can see you. I can see you.
Well, I can't see you or myself at all.
Then just leave and then rejoin. It'll work. Welcome in, Maddie. Do you support Trump?
No, but I just want to say that I've been educating myself more because of you.
Hey, man.
So I appreciate everything. I've been watching your lives every night when I get off work and stuff, and you've educated me more in more ways than I could have ever imagined. So just wanted to say appreciate you and keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate you so much for your kindness, Maddie. But we are just looking to talk to Trump supporters, but that is awesome. And that makes me really happy to hear. Guys, show some love to Maddie down below in that chat while we get the next guest up here, y'all. But seriously, if you do happen to be one of the 3.2 thousand people in this stream, y'all make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen, sharing out that live, etc. And oh my God, yo, dude, Sarah, thank you so much for the $130 over on PayPal for the new PC fund. Hope your day gets better, Sarah. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Sarah. Show some love to Sarah down below in that chat. Also, Parker, out back in that queue. You weren't showing up on the live, so I had to boot ya. But guys, seriously, show some love to Sarah down below for the $140 for the new PC. You know what? Honestly, fuck it. The donations for the rest of the stream are going to be going straight towards a new PC. Every single one of them. We have officially started the PC fund. That's what we'll call it for the rest of the day. Let's go and get that next guest up in here. Thank you so much, everybody, for double tapping. And if you're a mega, seriously, hop in that queue. We'll get you up in the live, everybody. Everyone, just give us a minute. We got Aaron loading up into the box. Welcome back in, Parker.
What's good? What's good? What's good?
How you doing?
I probably got like 40 minutes or so left on the live.
Awesome. Well, happy to have you here with us today. Am I lagging again? Oh, I don't even know. Everyone, just give us a minute to get that next guest up in here. Would you try to help us get a Trump supporter up in the box?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah. I had a question for you before we start.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Where did Parker go? I don't know where he went. Okay, you're 18. What year were you born in?
You kicked me out.
I didn't kick you out.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, do you support Trump?
Okay, it's not showing any of the guests on the live.
What is going on? TikTok is totally glitching.
Yeah. Okay, I might just end for the day. I'm not even lying. It may just be better to end for the day. Because this is getting ridiculous. This is getting very ridiculous. We may do a shorter stream today. And we may just end because this is, let's see if we can get Parker loaded in. I think that we're just going to slow things down.
What's up? I think it's working now.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay. Phenomenal. You're in?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, let's see if I'm sorry. I'm just like on edge right now. Because nothing is working. Nothing is working. Hey, do you support Trump?
You're silenced, I tell you. You're silenced. You're done. You're silenced, I tell you.
It's been a while since we've
got a debate.
Yeah, moving on. Yo, this came in a while ago. I'm just seeing it now. Yo, Brandon, like 30 minutes ago. Thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Brandon says, so hey, try tart cherry juice before bed. Naturally increases melatonin production rather than force it, which is healthier. That's actually a pretty good insight. I appreciate you for the love, Brandon. Everybody, show some love to Brandon down below in that chat. I thank you, Brandon.
W.
What's going on, Arman Fitness? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you driving?
Just park right now.
Sorry, man. You can't be up here if you're driving. We're going to go move on to BZ. Yo, Eva, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal as well for the debates with crazy people. Eva, that is so incredibly kind of you guys. Show some love to Eva down below in that chat. Thank you so very much. Show some love to Eva down below. Welcome in. What is going on, BZ? Do you support Trump?
I just got one question.
Sorry, man. I don't know.
Do you believe in
Hello, Gavin. Do you support Trump? Gavin left. Nice. Kai, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Kai says, I listen to your lives every day while I drive after work. I also really enjoy your Spotify show whenever you're not live. Keep it up, man. Yo, I'm actually happy that somebody's using the Spotify. That's right. That's phenomenal. Thank you so much for using that Spotify, Kai, as well as Carolina with the $10 saying, I support you. Well, thank you so much for the love, Carolina. That is phenomenal. Thank you so much for your kindness. As well as Caitlin, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo to get off and to go to sleep. Caitlin, thank you so much for the love, chat. Please show some love over to Caitlin. Yeah, we're on Spotify, everybody. It's just called the Dean Withers Show over there. As well as Robert. Thank you so much for the $25 over on PayPal. Thank you, Robert. Guys, show some love to Robert down below in that comment section. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. That is incredibly kind. Thank you so much, Robert. Okay. Do we have anybody on the live that's here to debate?
Yeah.
Who is that? I don't even know who that is. Is that Kevin?
Hello, anyone?
Bro, Parker.
Charlie Kirk owns you. Charlie Kirk owns you. Charlie Kirk owns you. Charlie Kirk owns you.
That's pretty funny.
What is going on, dude?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Hey.
What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Oh yeah.
How old are you?
I think he supports more than just
Oh
Trump.
my god.
Tell him you're.
Dude.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know anymore. Yo, Veteran, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. I really appreciate you for the love, Veteran. Dude, you've been so incredibly kind. We love you here. Let's give 500 Veteran W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Veteran. And yeah, if you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal down below in the link tree in my bio, everybody. I appreciate everyone so much for the love today. You guys have been incredibly kind. And like most of the day hasn't even been spent debating. It's been either trying to fucking fix a lag or find a debate. It's just been terrible today. What's going on? How do I pronounce her name?
P. Kamaki. You can just call me Kamaki.
Okay, Kamaki. How do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, take it away. Tell us why you support Trump. After, real quick, I need to thank Robert for another $25 over on PayPal for a lanyard and for my anxiety pin. Dude, you're right. I'm always dropping this motherfucker. Anybody that watches a lot hears that. Thank you for the love, Robert. Show some more love to Robert down below in that chat. But take it away.
All right. So I support him in a lot of different areas, but I'd say we can start with immigration. Sorry, my voice is raspy.
Yeah, for sure. Take it away. Why do you support Trump on immigration?
Well, it shut down the border pretty effectively. And I agree with the deportation effort.
For sure. Why do you agree with the deportation effort?
Because they're here illegally.
Okay. Well, my thing is I don't like mass deportation because I think it literally only leads to negative outcomes for America. Meaning I think it's American last policy. I mean, sure, it hurts the economy. It also increases crime rates. It has a lot of ethical concerns that comes along with it, as well as a lot of practical concerns. And like more so, I just can't identify like one solid way that it benefits this country. Would you be able to identify like one solid way that mass deportation benefits this country?
Well, I mean, you mentioned the economy.
Yeah.
And you think it helps?
I think that mass deportation hurts the economy like significantly.
How's that?
For sure. I mean, so the Center for American Progress would, come to the conclusion that the total contribution of undocumented immigrants to the GDP is around $1.1 trillion to $1.7 trillion annually. So if you remove them from the economy, you're also removing their total GDP contribution. They also pay $100 billion per year in taxes, so you're reducing our government's taxable revenue, as well as the operation just costs $88 billion per year. So it's incredibly expensive. It really weakens the economy, reduces our GDP, reduces the productive capacities of our manufacturers, and then forcefully cuts 12 million people out from the consumer base. And those are all really bad outcomes.
So you could throw prison inmates into the economy and GDP would go up, right? If
Prison inmates into the economy, but we would disagree with that. We'd say it's immoral because that would be forced slave labor.
I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying there's a parallel argument that bringing someone to the economy makes it better. It's going to make it bigger in GDP, but what about GDP per capita? I think that goes down.
Okay, well, I mean, I would argue, A, I'd just simply ask you for a source. B, maybe a reason why it would go down is because they get paid lower wages on average, and the way that we could account for that is by granting them more bargaining power by giving them a pathway to residency or citizenship. Okay.
Cut them out.
Yeah, I just got a notice that says guest violation
Oh, it's
warning.
lagging. Hello? Oh, Dean, hello? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. People are saying you're lagging on YouTube too, apparently.
Oh my God.
Well, good thing is you're still gaining viewers.
Dude,
Dude, you're lagging while gaining viewers.
Hey,
It's
man,
crazy.
for everybody in here, you guys have been troopers today. Okay? You guys have very seriously been troopers today because this has been hashtag hard.
Oh, he's lagging again, chat. Wait, chat, can you hear me through it all, or is it lagging for me as well? They hear me fine? Oh, both are lagging? Okay. That's rough.
I think that we may just... So, by the way, but can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
So for that last guest, we got a live violation. It says, a guest in your life has violated our hate speech and hateful behaviors policy, repeated violation. So it looks like we are back to the basics of guests just getting banned for saying whatever. So,
Dude, it was good for a second, and then they have to screw it up again.
yeah, not truly. Hey, Morgan and Account. Both Morgan and Account are just hit us with a $10 donation each over on PayPal. That is incredibly kind of you both. Show some love to Morgan and Account down below in that comment section. Morgan says, hey there, Dean.
Oh, it's lagging again.
Oh, God. Morgan says, hey there, Dean. Your ability to communicate such complex topics in such a way that is digestible is important for so many people. But I have a question. Is there anything that you and Parker disagree on? There's a lot of smaller things, but I think that we've kind of worked most of those disagreements out over time. I think that we disagree on when you become a human being, as well as K. That is KAE. Thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo, saying that magnesium and cherry juice have always worked better for me than melatonin. Hope you get some good sleep soon. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. I appreciate you so much for the love, K. That is incredibly kind. And yo, Zandy! Thank you so much for the $100 over on YouTube Super Chat. Let's get 1,000 Zandy W's down below in that chat. Zandy says, this is refreshing. Keep going, and I hope that there's more of you out there. That is incredibly kind of you, Zandy. Dude, that is seriously so much fucking money. Show some love to Zandy down below in that comment section, as well as Kita with the $15 over on Venmo, saying towards a new system. I'm so sorry it's been a day. Jesus, Kita, the day it has been. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Thank you for the $15. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, Parker, I don't know what to do.
I don't know either, because it's laggy across the board. I do think it's like a TikTok thing.
Yeah.
It might be your computer. I don't think it's 100% your computer.
I'm 110% having lag on the computer. I know that because I can't even interact with a TikTok live studio. Like when I hover my mouse over the TikTok live studio, it just breaks. And there's good evidence that it wouldn't be the computer. It's just the fact that maybe it's the TikTok servers because I'm not lagging on YouTube, but I am lagging over here. But I think that maybe TikTok Studio is just like the computer application is just simply not as
harsh
optimized as OBS for streaming to YouTube.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I think that could definitely be what is causing it. As well as, Sid! Sid, thank you so much for the $100 super chat over on YouTube. Jesus, Sid. Sid says, not me just getting off work and being excited to not only join to hear you're getting off early. JK, sorry about the lag. Oh my God, man. It's been a lot today. We got the lag. We got the fucking... We got the bands. Oh, Jesus. But Sid, I really do appreciate you so much for the $100 super chat. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Sid. Show some love to Sid down below in that comment section. Here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to go ahead and try one last debate here. We're going to go ahead and try one last debate here. If you are in that queue, make sure that means that you support Donald J. Trump. Let's go ahead and load up one last debate before I just get off early. Nick, thank you for the galaxy. That is a kind of you. What is going on, GT Tator? G Tator. Do you support Trump? Okay, and they're not here. So we are going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everyone. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a minute here, that would be great. Let's go and get that next guest up of the box. We are going to go to get Sota connected. Christine, thank you for the $1 over at Vimon. I will not read your message out loud. Thank you so much for the love. Here we go, everybody. Last guest of the night. Dustin Gray in the chat says, come on. Let's try to get Dustin Gray up in here. Maybe Dustin Gray wants to debate. What's going on, Dustin?
What's up, man?
You support Trump, bro?
I do.
Oh, geez. Why the hell would you ever support such a terrible president? As well as Narissa! Thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal for the quote-unquote Wi-Fi.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah, you could ask me a question, little bro. Take it away.
So,
As well as Judy, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. Thank you.
Instead
Yeah,
of
leave
like
the $2.
all the hate about politics, bro, why can't people just come together and like be civil about things? That's my main thing. Like, I support Trump, I do, but I also want things to be civil.
Okay, I don't doubt that we could have a civil conversation with one another. That just takes like two good faith interlocutors.
I totally agree. What I'm saying is people in general, it's today's world. I feel like no one can have a civil conversation about different topics and have disagreements without the other. And it's if you love Joe Biden, if you love whoever's on the Democratic side, it's, oh, you're stupid, you're this, that. If you love a Republican, it's like, oh, you're racist. It's like, why does it have to come to this?
Donald Trump is like objectively implementing like incredibly bigoted policy, and he's been violating the human rights of immigrants, and he doesn't give a shit. So I mean, like people that parade that is like an accomplishment or a
He's
win.
violating the human rights of immigrants as well.
So how do you
Their
feel
due
about
process rights granted by the Constitution?
How do you feel about the whole Iran situation?
What about Iran?
Thank you, Parker.
How do you feel about the whole Trump sending the bombs over? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what is your whole stance about that?
Okay, so in terms of that, we think that he's increasing global conflict, particularly by bombing Iran. Something that was particularly caused by him pulling out of the nuclear peace agreement in the very first place. They're at 60% enrichment, and I don't think that's one near a point where they would even be able to get nuclear weapons right away. Along with the fact that it seems like our attacks, according to AP News, only set them back by a few months.
Okay, now, because honestly, I like what you guys do. You guys debate and you give people chances, and that's what I like. So, if there's anything, I just want to know if there's anything that you could say you do agree with what Trump has done since he's taken office. I would want to know.
Since he's taken office, the AI deepfake thing is pretty good. Is that it?
And what about you, Dean? Is there anything that you've seen that you personally said, okay, you know what, this is actually good that Trump has done?
Yeah, for sure. Exactly what Parker just pointed out. Now, do you want to tell us why you support Trump?
I support Trump. It's just because I like everything that he stands for. I kind of agree with, like, politically wise, not how. I'd say this: Trump's an asshole for 100%.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So you're saying that everything that he stands for, you agree with. So you agree with the redistribution of wealth from poor people to rich people? I mean, like the BBB, which is the bill that he stands for, is estimated by the CBPP to reduce the after-tax income of the bottom 20% of income earners by $2,200 per year, while increasing it for the top 1% of income earners of upwards of $25,000 per year.
Well, I mean, there's I feel like there's just more to it than just that. I mean, like I said, there's things that he's done that I can say, okay, you know what, I understand.
Okay,
but
so then you
also
don't then you don't agree with everything he stands for. So then identify like a couple specific things that he stands for that you agree with.
Okay, I'll give you one. Just like I was asking Parker about like the situation with Iran. I feel like that Iran shouldn't have had any nuclear weapons, and I feel like that
the outcome of all of it only expedited it. Or that only is giving us less confidence.
What makes you feel like it did expedite it, though?
Yeah, for sure. Because the outcome of us bombing them, pulling out of the JCPOA, and telling them to hold to a ceasefire agreement that then our ally violated, was them turning around and passing new legislation through their parliament to restrict access from the IAEA and to having oversight of the levels of uranium enrichment in their country. So now we
But
don't
you-
even know how much enriched uranium they have. We don't know how far close away they are from having nukes. We don't know. That was the outcome of America meddling in shit that we shouldn't have been involved with and fucking them over 3 times.
But don't you feel like they shouldn't have any nuclear weapons?
I agree. I think that every country should denuclearize. But the fact of the matter is, what Donald Trump has done by pulling us out of that nuclear peace agreement we had with him in 2018, bombing them a couple days ago, then suggesting the fake ceasefire agreement, was literally them revoking oversight from the IAEA over their uranium enrichment. So now we have no clue over how close or far they are away from nukes. Isn't that like a bad thing? Like that they're no longer being overseen by international nuclear watchdog? I mean, that's obviously a very bad thing. And that was the outcome of Donald Trump's meddling in their business.
Yeah, but I think that it was for good reasoning as well too. We can't forget that. I mean, he did it for good reasoning.
Okay, what was the good reasoning? Because I don't
wasn't
understand
the
how we
good-
could have good reasoning to do something that has only led to bad outcomes.
Well, that's just with every situation, though. Not every situation is, to some people, is going to be it's going to be this kind of outcome. But no matter what you get, no matter what you do, you're going to have shitty things that come along with it. So
What was the good outcome of us bombing Iran?
that they're not going to have any nuclear weapons, my guy.
That's
Like,
not true.
why-
Even U.S. intelligence indicates that we only stalled them like a month or two.
But don't you think that Trump's not going to do it again if they keep on and keep on and keep on? Like how they were when he asked them to stop on Twitter and he wrote that big ass tweet, like, and he said he even
Oh,
told
okay.
them, he
So
said-
now you're admitting that the strikes that he did were unsuccessful.
yeah. Well, look at the sites of the bombs that were dropped. Look at this. Did you see the pictures of the sightings of everything that he bombed?
I did see the pictures of the sites that he bombed, but I don't think pictures of a little ash, right, would like qualify success. Okay, all right. Here's my reasons why I think the strikes were unsuccessful. Okay, it didn't take away their nuclear capabilities; it only delayed them by around a month. Okay, and B, right, it led to Iran revoking the IAEA's access into oversight of their level of uranium enrichment, which is a bad thing. So those are the 2 reasons I think that the bombings were unsuccessful.
But yeah, I don't think that I can understand what you're saying, but I also understand it from the standpoint of people who would say that it was successful because
why?
Because it had to happen, in my opinion, because of what was
Dude,
because
I'm
of what
going to
was-
lose my mind. Why did something that was unsuccessful and only generated bad
So
outcomes have to happen?
why are we not having the same picture about Iran not doing what they were doing to Israel? Why are we not having that same
Dustin,
kind of
actually, I have a
reaction?
question. Actually, do you think that the war in Iraq was justified? Iraq.
I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Do you think the war in Iraq is justified? Was justified? Like to go in based upon the set of justifications that they provided.
Like, what do you mean?
Do you think it was justified to go into the Middle East in the early 2000s because they claimed that there were weapons of mass destruction?
Yes and no. Like I'm iffy on it.
You don't know? Wasn't Donald Trump so against that?
Well, like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of things that he's done that I do stand with, and there's a lot of things that he doesn't. Like there's
I'm
things.
sorry,
that
we're just not getting like, oh shit, I'm lagging. Okay,
There's
we're just
even things that-
we're not getting any type of clear response here. I've been able to tell you the reasons. Okay, that the strikes in Iran were a bad thing. They only generated bad outcomes. We only pissed them off more, leading to them revoking clearance for the nuclear watchdog of the AIEA to have oversight over their uranium enrichment. And via leaks from U.S. intelligence, we know that we didn't obliterate their programs. We only set them back by around a month, and now we have no clue. And now there the lag goes. And now the lag's over. And now we have no clue, right, what's going on with their enriched uranium, where is it at, or what levels it's at, okay? And those are the reasons why the strikes were bad. But now you're saying, well, no, Dean, you're wrong. Okay, the strikes were still good. So tell me why you believe that the strikes were a good thing that makes you support Trump, even though they further increased tensions in the region. They led to Iran revoking oversight from the IAEA over their nuclear facilities. They were not successful in destroying their nuclear programs. Yeah, respond to why the strikes were good and successful in lieu of those three facts that would typically make
Because
them unsuccessful and bad.
has Iran done anything to try to mess with Israel at all since Trump did what he did? Has Iran
Yes.
According
Literally.
according
to Trump himself.
According to Trump
What have
himself,
they
yes.
physically tried to do other than people talking about Israel?
According to Trump, they violated the ceasefire agreement.
And what did they do violating the ceasefire agreement?
Sent missiles at Israel after the ceasefire started, according to Trump and Israel. Now, is that true? We don't know.
Okay, exactly. We don't know. You just said it. We don't know.
But according to Trump, it is true.
So how do we know that it's true? How do we see bombs that were hit the first time, but now since the ceasefire was, like you said, it's not there anymore? Now that we don't know, how is that even a thing?
What the fuck are you saying? Words.
Dude, this guy.
Just because
how many alcoholic beverages have you had?
Yeah,
today?
just because you could like put words into a sentence, it doesn't mean that what you're saying is comprehensible.
Well, I could say this. I could say the same to what you're saying, and it just goes to show.
I don't think you can.
It just goes to show a lot of the ignorance too in the country.
What the fuck?
It's
I'm
a
not
lot
ignorant.
of, bro. I don't understand anything that you like. It doesn't even make sense. I can't even put it into words.
Okay, but that doesn't mean I'm ignorant or wrong. Okay, listen, I'm not accusing you of this.
Elevated it out of
But
his mind.
I just want to give you an example. So when I was in
flabbergasted me.
When I was in my junior year of high school, I bring up this example every so often. When I was in my junior year of high school, I had a math teacher, and I was learning calculus 1 or 2. I forget which one. And I didn't do my homework. So when I went to class and I tried to listen to what the teacher was explaining, I didn't understand a damn thing that they said. But once again, it wasn't because they were a bad teacher. It's because I wasn't doing my homework.
Okay, and what does that have to do with?
Oh my god, dude! I can't do it, man.
What does that have to do with Trump? What does that
If
have
you
to
could
do
draw
with-
the parallels between that and your statement that I'm ignorant because you don't understand what I'm saying, I'll give you a gold star.
Well, I'll gladly, I guess, take it. I guess.
Describe the parallel.
Dude, there's no parallel. That has nothing to do with Trump.
Oh, no, I'll help you out a little bit, buddy. So it's not a parallel with, Trump. It's a parallel with your accusation that I'm ignorant because you don't understand what I'm saying.
No, what you're saying is that you don't agree with what Trump is doing, and I get it. Like, I understand. But that parallel has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Well, I know, but like I just said, it wasn't a parallel to Trump. It was a parallel to what you said about how I'm ignorant because you don't understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Do you know what? Could you describe the parallel to us?
What do you need the gold star? Like, I don't understand.
No, the gold star would be for you.
Let's get back to the main thing, okay?
Oh, okay.
Let's get back to the main thing.
After, real quick, I need to thank Andrew for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Andrew. Andrew says, I'm sorry that you've had a rough day, man. Here's $20, and I hope it makes it better. Dude, Andrew, that is very kind of you. Show some love to Andrew down below in that chat, everybody. I really appreciate you for your kindness. Thank you so much, Andrew. As well as the Encrypted Afro. Thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying always be mindful that you are debating people with overtly sanitized and propagandized knowledge. Unless Fox News or their favorite quote-unquote source says otherwise, they won't believe it or consider it. Yeah, that's a hard barrier to break through, and you're absolutely right. But thank you both for the $20. If you're watching and you want to support me, you could find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok. I get 100% of the proceeds over on those platforms. You could even add a message, and I could read off your donation in the message on live right now. And if you're watching over on YouTube and you'd like to support me, you can find those two same avenues either in the bio of the video or in the pinned comment. And it looks like our guest actually left.
Very unfortunate, I tell you.
Dude,
Look at that.
That guy was smart, wasn't he?
That was kind of brutal.
That guy was really smart. I think that guy was probably the smartest guest we've ever had up here.
I think I had a smarter guest earlier.
Yep.
Oh, that is a child. Goodbye, child. You had a smarter guess earlier? Doubt it. Doubt it. Doubt it, buddy. What's going on, Connor? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, Dean, what's going on?
Not too much. Not too much, Connor. Okay, I have a question. Do you drive a lifted truck?
Nah.
Connor
I
Berg.
appreciate the assumption though.
Let me take a guess here. I gotta take a guess. Let me
All
see.
right, take a guess.
What kind of truck does Connor? Wait, what kind of car does Connor drive? Oh, like a 2017 BMW Coupe.
Nope.
What do you drive?
It is a truck. It's a truck. It's
Oh.
a 2023 Ford Raptor.
Oh, you drive
R.
a Raptor?
Yeah.
Damn, bro, you're loaded.
All right, Dean. Let's get it talking.
Well, take it away.
Connor, can you name 3 economic policies of Donald Trump's that he influenced to get passed that you like? He left.
What?
Wow, that was quick.
Well, yeah, he did leave. Unfortunate for Connor over here. I mean, he drives a nice car. Dude, 22 Ford Raptor R? That's a very nice truck, Connor. Very nice truck. Let me tell you. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. We got Marcos loading up into the box. Here we go. And yo, Elsa, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Saying, I started my own debate channel on TikTok. Would love some advice. Well, Elsa, what do you plan on doing? Like uploading videos or like doing live debates? Let me know. But I really appreciate you for the $20. That is incredibly kind of you. Let's get 200 Elsa W's for the love and the generosity. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next guest, everybody. Let's go ahead and get them up in here. Now, this might be the last guest of the night, everybody. That's right. That's right. Here we go.
The last guest of the night.
Here we've been
I
saying
think I'll get off after this guest as well.
Nice. Fire. Dude, today's been rough. But like I feel like I haven't really crashed out, you know? Like I usually like have like a really emotional reaction when things get rough, like a little baby. But today I feel like I've kept my cool, you know? I guess he disagrees. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to the next guest.
You've done great today, man. You've done really good. I think you haven't crashed out once.
Wait. When I crashed out on you, it was a fake crash out there. That was just for like.
No crash out happened.
Wait, but when I was like, Parker, shut the hell up. That was a joke.
No, it wasn't me that you crashed out on.
So what's going on? Do you support Trump? Why are all the guys just leaving, bruh? Dude.
Diabolical, dude.
Dude. Oh, wait. No, I did crash out. Remember when it's like, I remember it was like that. I did. Yeah, you're right. Oh, let's go to get the next guest loaded into the live. Here we go, everybody. It looks like Marissa's actually found her way back into the queue. Here we go. Yo, Ian, thank you so much for the, let's see here, $20 over on PayPal. And Christian with the 15. Ian says, thank you for making us all a little bit smarter. Oh, I appreciate you so much for the love, Ian. And then Christian, I agree with you. That would be dangerous. Thank you, Christian and Ian. Let's show some love to Christian and Ian down below in that box while we are loading the next guest up into the box. And then also Nora, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. You guys, I'm not even going to read that one out loud. You guys don't even want to know what that one said. Thank you for the $20 though, Nora. As well as Swetha with the $5 over on PayPal. Elizabeth with the $5 on Venmo. And Elsa with the $2 over on Venmo as well. We are going to go and get that next guest up in the box. If you are in that queue, make sure that means you support Trump. That guy's still driving.
How you doing?
You're still driving, man. Still can't have you up here. Yo, look it's the king of crash outs. The king of crash outs is rejoining.
Oh.
Darian. Oh, but he left.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I think after this, I'm going to Aspen later this week. By the way, everybody, 28th, 6:30 p.m.
Oh, you cut out. Couldn't hear you. Hello. I hear you now. What happened?
By the way,
now he's crashing out again.
By the way, everybody, to the June 28th, 6:30 p.m. I am going to be up in Aspen, Colorado, and I'm going to be on a panel to discuss why the right won the election and what we should do in the future. And it's going to be a panel. It's really fucking rigged, okay? Because it was supposed to be conservative, a moderate, and a liberal, but the moderate they got is just actually another conservative. So it's going to be a 1v2 panel for an hour long. Do I feel like they did that on purpose? Yeah. But can I handle it? Also, yeah, I could definitely handle it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a 1v20. What's a 1v2, you know? What's going on? Do you support Trump, Sarah?
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah. So why's that?
I mean, Trump did first of all a lot of things that he promised in doing. I mean, the Republican base at least is pretty satisfied. You know, Trump said he would go hard on immigration, which he did, regardless of what someone's stance is. Trump pretty much did everything he said he was going to do.
Not true.
Like what? Like
Or
really?
at least
Like
it was
can we go through this? Like he ended the Russia-Ukraine conflict day one within the 24 hours. He repealed and replaced the ACA. He drained the swamp. He built the wall. Do you want me to keep going?
Yo, also
he got the infrastructure bill.
There's somebody by the name of
I'm
there's
not
somebody
saying
by
he
the
did
name of
exactly
Gittos.
everything,
There's somebody
right?
by the
But
name
for
of
example-
Gittos watching the live. Getos.
For example-
Gittos. Gittos watching the live over on TikTok, and the TikTok chat just said, "I gooned to Dean, but nobody will ever know because there's so many comments." So Gittos, now everybody knows. Go ahead, Sarah.
That's gross. But all right. So, for example, Trump said he would go hard immigration, right?
Okay, so
Say it again.
He's saying that he's going to go hard on
He said he would
immigration.
go hard on
So you're saying that
immigration,
he's
right?
like been like fulfilling a promise with mass deportation. Sure, yeah, that's something
Correct.
that
I
everyone
mean,
on and that
at
he's
least
trying
one
to do.
thing. Like, granted, there's a bunch of shit he didn't do, right? I'm not a forever Trumper. Like, oh, Trump's my guy. He's the best.
I think that
president
mass
in the world.
deportation fucking sucks. Name one positive outcome on America, American society, or the American people.
Well, first of all, significant drop in criminality and drug transportation across the border.
Walla bam boom!
Based on-
Wrong! So mass deportation actually increases crime by weakening the economy, which increases poverty, and poverty leads to a lot of crime. A lot of crime.
How does
consequential-
deportation?
Also, it
increase
leads to
criminality?
mass deportation.
What
leads
evidence
to-
do you have that
mass
deportation
deportation leads
increases
to more
criminality?
crime as well because undocumented immigrants commit crime at a lower rate than natural-born U.S. citizens. So if you deport more people who have a lower rate of crime on average, well, then that's going to increase the crime rate.
It's not going to increase the crime rate. It's going to create.
Yes, it will. That's actually exactly what would happen. If you decrease the amount of people in the population that have a lower crime rate, on average, comparative to the natural-born U.S. citizen crime rate, well, then that's going to mean that you're going to have higher rates of crime if you deport people who meet that set of criteria.
Parker, it's gonna clearly, it may increase the rate, but the amount of crime
total
is
amount.
still going to be reduced.
The total amount of crime is going to be reduced.
Yes.
That's your claim. That claim is wrong.
Okay, why? What evidence do you have that it's wrong?
Great question. I have a great response. The economic impact of mass deportation is serious, severe, and detrimental. Okay, incredibly detrimental. It will weaken the economy a very significant amount. And with a significantly weaker economy will come higher levels of poverty and a lot of crime.
What economic impact are you talking about? Are you talking about people who are working abusively low wages for us?
I'm talking about the 1.1 trillion through 1.7 trillion dollars that are put into the American GDP every single year, either directly by undocumented immigrants or indirectly through the productivity that they generate, as they're more likely to participate in the workforce, meaning 8.3 million of them work. I'm also talking
abusively lower wages.
Okay. You're interrupting me, and you are now changing the topic. I will wrap in your change of the topic at the end of my explanation, but
All
for
right,
you
sounds
to
good.
like
You're
interrupt me
right,
like
you're
two
right. I
times
won't-
during my
I won't.
explanation to change the topic is kind of a lot.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna start from the top. So the reason why mass deportation will weaken the economy is by expelling the 8.3 million undocumented workers in the workforce. And according to the Center on American Progress, the total net impact that will have on the GDP will be a reduction of 1.1 trillion through 1.7 trillion dollars per year. So we have to factor in for that. We also have to factor in for the loss of government revenue. Undocumented immigrants pay $100 billion per year in taxes, as well as it would cost $88 billion per year. So that's around $2 trillion in the next 10 years. Okay, spending $2 trillion to wipe out $1.1 trillion through $1.7 trillion from the GDP per year, and to reduce the overall efficacy of our manufacturers by reducing their productivity, by removing over 8 million laborers from the labor force and 12 million consumers from the demand side of things, will have detrimental impacts on the economy. And those detrimental impacts will weaken the economy, which will increase poverty. And because a lot of crime is consequential of poverty, we will see more crime. So there's the explanation on how mass deportation leads to more crime. Do you want to start there, or do you want me to also wrap in your counterpoint of saying that the workers are being exploited and getting lower wages?
Well, 2 points, right? So first of all, yes, I understand that obviously removing all this contribution from the GDP and taxpayers. To be fair, not a lot of undocumented immigrants pay all their taxes to begin with, but granted, there's a large amount that do, and it doesn't
change what I said. My argument still leads to the conclusion that crime goes up.
Okay, I still don't believe crime goes up because of the following reasons. So first of all, a lot of these undocumented immigrants are criminals. Those criminals will leave, which can...
Undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit violent crimes or bad crimes.
It's still going to reduce this total amount of crimes, Parker, if they're not here.
The argument I gave you, the argument I gave you lends the conclusion that total amount of crime goes up. Now, you're supposed to be rebuttaling that position right now. However,
Right, Dean.
you're not giving reason for the rebuttal. You're just merely repeating that you disagree.
Right.
Also, I just want to know if you ban tourism, the nominal level of crime decreases. Do you want to ban tourism?
Do I want to ban tourism?
Yeah.
Depends. Are we talking about violent crime? What crime are we talking about?
I said tourism.
Right, but you said the nominal number of tourists.
Overall, all crimes. Because if you reduce tourism, right, then you're going to have less people in the country who are tourists committing crimes.
Well, tourists don't commit a large amount of crimes.
But they still commit some, so it still net decreases it.
Right, but their benefit
okay. So now he's not. Now he doesn't give a shit about that. Now he doesn't give a shit about nominal
Well, I do,
level of
because
crime
tourists
increasing.
aren't criminals, right? Tourists are being legally allowed by our government. They're being vetted. Maybe the vetting process needs to improve, right? And tourists can be.
You voted for a convicted criminal. Okay, don't act to me like, don't talk on the live like you specifically care about limiting crimes or trying to restrict crime.
We're still like, now this argument is getting drawn out. Okay, so Parker made a really good point there. He brought up the fact that tourists commit nominal crimes. Now, you then said, oh, well, tourists benefit the economy, so you still want them here. So then when the adequate response as it relates to undocumented immigrants be the same, okay, well, then you retorted that by saying, well, it is the case that tourists are legally here.
Well,
right?
not
and they're
undocumented
vetted.
immigrants.
So,
Here-
one moment. Your comments as it relates to tourists would imply that you would support mass amnesty. Why? Because we'd be able to vet all the undocumented immigrants, and they'd be here legally, meaning you would have no issue with it.
Well, see, that's the thing. My stance on immigration, being an immigrant, isn't what Trump's stance is, right? I think his stance and a lot of people's stance is a little too high, right? However, I completely understand where they came from. You know, I mean, I was raised in a pretty poor neighborhood with a shitload of immigrants, and crime was through the fucking roof.
Okay,
right?
now you're just repeating your original claim. You're saying that crime was through the roofs in a neighborhood with a shitload of immigrants. This claim is fucking dismantled by what Parker brought up. Undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, 3 times less likely to commit property crimes, and 4 times less likely to commit petty crimes. So when you claim that
You're
the
talking
more
about
undocumented immigrants there are in a particular space, the higher the crime rates are, is actually false. And you still haven't responded to the original argument that I gave to you that would show that there'd be a higher level of nominal crimes if we did a mass deportation. You've simply ignored it. And you definitely haven't responded to the fact that in lieu of all these facts, you voted for a felon rapist in the Oval Office.
Wait, so Donald Trump's a rapist?
That is true.
Yes.
He was a convicted rapist?
He was liable in a civil court.
So he wasn't convicted of rape.
If you
was
think that a
adjudicated.
conviction is just a guilt found in a criminal court, then no, he was not convicted. He was held liable. But if you just use the term convicted to mean proven, then he was convicted because it was proven.
Gotcha. All right. So what do you want me to answer first? Because you and Parker were coming out with different things. You want me to?
We got like a
address
bunch for you. You
your
could
non-
address the argument that I gave you that shows that mass deportation actually increases crime. You could address the
Gotcha.
argument that undocumented immigrants are just less likely to commit crimes. And you could address the argument that you should support mass amnesty because theoretically you have no issue with tourists because they're here legally. Thereby, you would have no issue with undocumented immigrants given that they were vetted and became an individual with a legal status. Or you could address the point of hypocrisy, pointing out that you act like you're so tough on crime, but then you put a rapist felon in the Oval Office. So there's 5 arguments. You get to choose which one you want to respond to.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we'll start with the third one, the amnesty one, right? Because I think there's a little common ground there at least. So I'm absolutely in favor of legal immigration, right? In a lot of ways. For example, I'm very in favor of a lot of us receiving and vetting people who are here illegally, and just legalizing them and letting them stay. Especially for people who have worked here for many years, paid taxes, committed no crimes, and are just good working citizens, right? If they're willing to just adopt America and become Americans, I'm absolutely fine with that. However, I do also think there's a criminal problem. But that's the amnesty thing. I'm not full amnesty for every undocumented immigrant here. Because I think
wait. Do you think that there's more of a criminal problem in citizens?
If there's more of a criminal problem in citizens?
Yeah.
I mean, nominally, yes, there's more citizens than there are immigrants, but that's besides the point because
wait, it's not because why do you say that there's a criminal problem in undocumented immigrants? It's not nominal levels of crime, it's going to be crime rates. But we've already demonstrated to you that that's false.
Right, because the illegal immigrants that are here, all the crime, regardless that the average is less, all the crime that has been committed here by illegal immigrants would not have been committed if they were never here.
Okay, just like all the crime committed by citizens wouldn't be
Right,
committed
but
by citizens if the
citizens
citizens
are
weren't
already
here,
citizens of here,
and
right?
all the crime committed by tourists wouldn't be a problem if the tourists weren't here. And once again, if it's all about crime, point number 1, you want to put a criminal in the White House, and point number 2, you wouldn't support the criminal's mass deportation because the mass deportation will cause more crime. It's so fucking hypocritical for you to say, nah, I hate crime, but then advocate for policy that causes more. Literally explain to me how you support that.
Okay, so we were going to them one by one, right? So the most recent one that I was addressing was we were talking about amnesty, right?
You didn't tell us anything about amnesty, but you just ended up talking about how you think that there's this criminal problem that persists. So now the most urgent argument is you telling us if you care so much about crime, how come you put a criminal in the White House to pass policy that causes more crime?
Okay, so you want to go back to Donald Trump?
Yeah, how come you put a criminal in the White House that passes policy that causes more crime, such as mass deportation?
Who said I put a criminal in the White House?
Yeah, you voted for Trump.
Who said I voted for Trump?
I mean, hopefully that would be implied given that you support Trump, unless you just opted not to
Well,
vote for
maybe
him.
I support him now. Maybe I thought he was a piece of shit, and I was like, you know what? This guy's actually doing some good shit.
Oh, geez. Well, then, Jesus Christ, I would just be giving you the benefit of the doubt because that's absolutely insane.
Okay. Well, I didn't vote for him initially, right? I changed my mind about Trump. I was kind of in the fence, and
Oh, geez. Yeah, I gave you the benefit of the doubt by assuming that you voted for Trump. You're just insane. Now go ahead and answer the question. If you
Yeah,
care
I
about
guess
crime in
I will.
America, how come you support a criminal in the Oval Office who has passed policy that causes more crime, and then you also support that policy? No, you're not against crime. You're for crime.
okay, so you're talking about the immigration policy that you tried to make the argument that would nominally increase total crime.
Increases total crime.
Okay, so I was going to address them backwards, but let's just go to that one first since you want to focus on that one.
Right.
So, first of all, the fact that us losing all that GDP, right, all these illegal immigrants leaving, and us potentially having, so now the economic crisis can likely cause all these problems that would increase crime. That's not a fact, right, in and of itself, because the fact that we're going to lose all these very cheap labor means that the American
Very
workforce
cheap labor?
So you don't think immigrants are paid very cheap labor?
No. So like when you say we're advocating for mass amnesty as a comparison to mass deportation, right? You're not getting rid of, right, quote unquote, cheap labor because they could have been under the legal process.
Well, I'm not addressing mass amnesty right now. I'm addressing Dean's point. He said that.
What's the response? What the fuck is the response?
Well, so the response is the fact that all these people will leave doesn't mean that our GDP doesn't mean that Americans will automatically be more violent and be out of a job. To the contrary, they'll now have to contract American workers who are, especially blue collar workers. Their pay is significantly lower right now because people are paying undocumented immigrants substantially less than they would pay normal legal American citizens, right? These citizens will be paid significantly more. And there's no conclusive evidence to believe that, oh, because all of these immigrants' wages will now leave, Americans will now just not have money. The American economy will drop significantly and we'll start committing more crimes.
Yes, there is. So you made 3 points there. 2 of them were relevant. 1 of them was irrelevant. So the 2 relevant points that you made, which were false, and I'll explain to you how, was the idea that, well, maybe if these individuals lose their jobs, they'll just be replaced by Americans working those jobs, so we'll keep the same level of productivity and we'll be good to go. The second point that you made was saying that there's no conclusive evidence to demonstrate what I'm saying was true. This wraps in with the first point. Those 2 points were the relevant ones. Now, the third irrelevant point that you brought up was that undocumented immigrants lower wages on average for American citizens now. And I'll explain why that's irrelevant and also explain to you what a better solution would be after I address the 2 relevant points. So the 2 relevant points, let's talk about them. No. I do not believe that Americans will just replace the jobs that undocumented immigrants leave. And I have 2 reasons to believe that. The first reason is, well, there's 8 million job opportunities that would be created via mass deportation. It just so happens that we already have 8 million open job opportunities already today without the mass deportation. Americans aren't filling the 8 million ones that are already open, so why would they fill the 8 million ones that would open? It doesn't make any sense. Completely illogical. Now, second, if they would fill them out of necessity, why aren't they already filling the 8 million job opportunities?
Because the pay is too low.
Because the pay is too low. Some pay better.
Well,
than
one
no
of the
pay?
reasons the pay is too low. Another reason is government assistance is helping people substantially too much and just letting them live off of
but you're talking about but government assistance would still exist after mass deportation. So wouldn't they just still opt to not get a job under your view?
Well, depending on it, if the job offered a lot more money, a strong argument could be made that many of them would be convinced to take that job because now, hey, sure, I get paid this on government assistance, but I could get paid a lot more if I'm doing this. So maybe I'll do this instead.
Okay, so you're basically not saying that it's a mass deportation that would make the Americans take these jobs. It'd apparently be the employers asking or like giving them more pay. I don't get the argument.
No, because
but then also something else here. Something else that I also want to point out here is I think that your position is absurd. I've given you the reasons why I don't believe that.
Sorry, you cut off. I didn't hear what you said.
So I've given you reasons why it is the case that I don't believe Americans would just fill the 8 million open job opportunities that would be created. But listen, let's just assume that they did. Let's assume that tomorrow.
Wait, what were the reasons you gave? I'm sorry, I must have forgotten them.
Yeah, for sure. The main reason is that there's already 8 million open job opportunities and there's not Americans filling them. So why would they fill 8 million new job opportunities? It doesn't make much sense.
Because the wages for those jobs would necessarily increase because the companies don't have the cheap labor of illegal immigrants working for them.
Oh, wait. So then we could increase wages through mass amnesty, and you should support it more because it wouldn't be hitting the economy hard and then increasing wages. It would be allowing the economy to grow at the rate that it is and increasing wages. And I'll explain to you how. Why is it the case that undocumented immigrants get paid lower wages on average compared to citizens?
Because they're illegal and companies can get away with it.
Boom. Fucking facts. Because they have less bargaining power due to the lack of residency or citizenship. Well, if we gave them residency or citizenship, they'd have more bargaining power, just the same amount as any other resident or citizen, meaning that they'd be able to collect higher wages, meaning that the companies wouldn't be able to get away with it. Do we see how fucking in less than like one sentence back and forth, we have now determined that mass amnesty is the best possible solution to deal with undocumented immigrants, economically speaking, because it would increase average wages per capita. It would be better for the open job opportunities, more individuals that would be willing to fill them, as well as we'd be able to maintain the current trajectory of GDP growth, and we wouldn't be excommunicating the 8 million undocumented workers and the 12 million undocumented consumers?
Well, like I said before when I was talking about the mass amnesty, I'm not in favor.
Hey, Dean, I'm going to get going, bro.
Parker, appreciate you for coming up, man. I hope you have a good rest of your day, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, show some love to Parker down below in that comment section while we are cooking up Sarah down here. As well as, let's see here. Yo, Kiara, thank you for the $30 over on Venmo. Kiara says, Kiara spelled Kiera, says, you said 3 hours. What happened? Yeah, we're definitely running over 3 hours, but it is what it is. I love what I do. I'm not going to lie. Thank you for the $30. Show some love to Kiara down below in that chat. As well as Sahas, thank you for the $20. Saying, keep up the great work. I really appreciate you for the love, Sahas. That is Saahas. Appreciate you so much for the $20. And then Connor with the 10 cents saying, who's top and bottom? You or Parker. I don't know. It depends on the day, but thank you so much for the 10 cents. Gotta go ahead and donate that to Planned Parenthood in your name. Now, go ahead and take it away.
All right, so back to the mass amnesty point that you brought up, right? Saying how it'd be freaking amazing for the economy. As I was talking about when I first talked about mass amnesty, personally, I'm in favor of a huge. I mean, I'm in favor of every single. Sorry about that. I'm in favor of every single immigrant that is currently here. Not every single, but I'd say most immigrants that are
Dan,
here.
bro, you see that warning you just got?
I got a warning?
Yeah, look at your phone screen. You see that?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what that was. I'm almost never on TikTok. This is actually my wife's account. What is that?
Well, it means that I have to kick you. And I'm sorry that I had to kick you. That sucks. I'm sorry. We're having a decent conversation. L. All right. Oh, that's the same Connor that just joined the live and then left after Parker had asked him for 3 economic policies. Connor, could you hop back in that queue for me, bud? I'd love to ask you a question. I would love to. Oh, he is back. Let's go to Connor up here real quick. Connor, I have a question.
What up, Beast?
My question is, why, when asked a question by a liberal that you cannot answer, do you simply call the liberal gay?
I didn't get to answer.
You left.
I didn't leave. I commented that.
I don't know what happened then. I think you left. But the question was, why, when you get a question from a liberal that you can't answer, you just call them gay?
Who said that?
You did. You asked me who's top or bottom.
How did I call you gay?
By asking me who's top or bottom?
And you answered. So what are you talking about?
Well, I was joking. Okay.
Oh, okay. So, but you're saying that, but you answered the question.
God, okay. God, so I'm sorry. Sorry, I answered your question, Connor.
Hey, you don't have to answer it. I know. I appreciate you going out of your way and answering it. I appreciate it.
No, but on a real note, seriously, answer my question. Like, why is it like when conservative ask a question that they can't answer, they're like, gay? Like what?
Well, since you're assuming, I got asked the question, I even get to answer. I got kicked. Everybody in my DMs was saying that, and then I just sent that. So there is no correlation.
Wait. Why would I kick you?
I didn't get to answer. What are you talking about? Why would I join and wait and then just leave?
Dude, I don't know. Ask yourself that.
Okay then. But your correlation is just not working. That's
okay,
not at all what happened.
So why didn't you ask me who's top or bottom?
I didn't get the chance to. Now that I was thinking about it, I was like, the way that you're defending Parker, I was like, all right. I mean, I just got to ask.
I have a question. How's the Wattpad story coming along?
Can you say that again?
How is the Wattpad story coming along? Like, I'm going to go and assume that, you needed the info for something else.
Nope. I just general information.
Let's see the notes app. Yeah. I just needed it for general. Yeah, let's see the fucking notes app. Come on, pull it up.
The notes app?
Let's see the notes app.
My notes app?
Yes! I want to see the notes app.
For what?
So we could see the Wattpad story.
Nope, nothing there. I appreciate it.
You're getting really defensive, Connor.
Nope, no defense.
I'm sensing a really strong defense here.
Nope,
Connor.
no defense. I think you're trying to be more defensive since you answered the question.
Wait, how is it? Wait, answering a question is defensive? Whoa, what?
Yeah, but you're coming at me for asking it, but you answered it.
I mean, yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, Connor. Like the whole, he's a liberal that I don't like, therefore he's gay. No, that's homophobic. Of course, I'm gonna come at you for that.
See, you're assuming here, Dean. That's an assumption.
Okay, that is like the most valid, obvious, justified assumption ever.
Man, it has nothing to do with politics. You can take a joke. Clearly, there is no correlation.
Okay, well, if you're telling me like the reason you like asked who's top or bottom, like,
bro, I gave you
listen.
Listen.
I need you to listen to what I have to say. So I'm wondering, because if you're telling us the motivation for you being like, oh, gay, wasn't because I'm a liberal that you don't like, and it wasn't because like I don't know, like you couldn't answer the question.
I can unmute myself.
I know, and I can mute you again. How about you just shut the fuck up? Have the same amount of self-control as like a toddler, please. Okay?
You're a grown man. We're both grown men here.
Yes, exactly. We are both grown men. I'd hope that a goddamn adult can wait their turn to speak. Okay? I don't want to do like the, like the coyote or the bubble in the mouth. Don't make me a kindergarten teacher. Okay? Just wait your turn to speak.
What are you talking about?
Dude, I'm talking about different ways that I can unfortunately help you wait your turn.
I got you.
Okay, phenomenal. So here we're going to go back to the question that you asked about who's top or bottom. Okay, so I said maybe the reason why I asked that question was because you're homophobic and it was like, oh, liberal I don't like, therefore gay. But you're like, no, that wasn't the reason. So another reason was like maybe you couldn't answer the question that we asked you. And you're like, no, that wasn't the reason. So it's like, what could the reason for that question be? Like, honestly, the only other reason I could see is that you're genuinely fucking interested, or you're writing a Wattpad story, the fanfic.
Hey, okay. So the way that you can answer it in a jokingly way is the same way I can ask it, correct?
No. So
so no. Okay, so it's a one-way street. So if you can answer it in a joke, but the question is a joke, because clearly, I mean, if you're answering it open, honestly, in front of 8.9 people, that's not true.
I think it is homophobic to just like be like, liberal man, therefore gay. Who's top or bottom? Like that's obviously going to be rooted within like some like, he's gay, I don't like him. So that's going to be homophobic. So I'd say that's not something you should do. And I'll go ahead and prove it to you this way, because explain the joke.
You muted me.
Explain the joke.
I just asked who's top or bottom.
I know
you took it gay. You don't know what that means.
But like typically, like jokes have.
So you took it gay though, and you said depends on the day. So you were the one.
So I have at least 5 brain cells. I know what a top is. I know what a bottom is.
Yeah.
So can you explain the joke?
You can take it either way.
Explain the joke, Connor.
Nah, I'm not gonna explain it because you're coming at me and assuming the correlation is that, I'm gonna say that because I don't like you. That's not true. So you perceived it a certain way.
Okay, if you can't explain the joke, then why do you call it a joke?
Because you answered it in a joke, no?
Oh, okay. Well, I could explain why my answer was a joke. Okay, I'll set the example. So you're right.
Go ahead.
When I said it depends on the day, that was a joking response. Now, the joke part of it is, well, we have rude Connor that's attempting to be homophobic to invoke some type of negative reaction from Dean Withers when he's like, Dean Withers is gay. But then Dean Withers is like, depends on the day. So I'm not giving you the reaction that you want. And the joke is that we're just laughing at the asshole. So that's a joke. That's the explanation of the joke. So see how I can explain what the joke is. So now it's your turn. It's your turn to explain the joke. Because I was able to explain how my response was a joke. Okay, we were able to point out the comedic value of laughing at Connor. Now you explain how the question was a joke.
You were taking it up a notch than what it really was. Like, I mean, I don't see how you're doing that.
Oh, God, I can't believe I just left Connor alone with the chat. Oh, no. Oh, no, everybody. Oh, no. Okay, we're back. Sorry, Connor got banned. Hilarious. Hilarious. Connor got banned. That is beautiful. Okay. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. All right. For the 9,000 people in here, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Fucking hell. Today, let me tell you. Let me tell you about something. Let me tell you about today, everybody. Today has been terrible. Okay? Today has reduced my lifespan by maybe 5 years. Today was unequivocal. Wow. Very bad day. Very bad day. Let me tell you. One of the worst. But I appreciate every single one of you so much for being in here with us. You guys made it worth it. I love you all. I'm going to go and hop off. Like, dude, guys, I can't even see the chat right now. The TikTok studio is so laggy that the chat is like, I don't know. Okay. All right. I'm going to go and hop off. I'm going to go buy a new computer. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better, right? Right, guys? Tomorrow will be a little bit better. Hopefully we'll have a new PC. We'll be able to do these streams without all the lag. I don't know. All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, fuck. I can't end it. Oh, geez, guys, we're going to be here for a while. I'm hovering my mouse over the button to end the stream, and it won't let me press it. It's just showing me the loading icon. Oh, it's just showing me the loading icon. Oh, my computer's cooked. Oh, my computer's so cooked. I guess we're going to be stuck here for a little bit with one another. I guess I'm actually not leaving yet. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, I got to the in live button. There we go. We're almost there, everybody. Okay. All right, we finally got the in now button up. Everybody, I'm going to go ahead and head off for the night. Much love. I'm going to go to get a new computer because what the fuck is this shit? See you all tomorrow. Peace and love. Bye-bye. And it might take a minute to end. I don't know. It's just going to randomly end. Oh, and there it go. And there it goes. It ended. Okay. For everybody over on YouTube, love you all. Have a good rest of your night. Bye-bye.